All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. We are in the building, or I should say, I'm in the building. I am happy to be here. Really happy to be here. So let's go ahead and get things popping off. Welcome to everybody who's here. Welcome to everybody who's here. All right, so let me go ahead. You guys know I started off by posting on Twitter, doing that stuff. So welcome to everybody who's already in the chat room. So let me go ahead and post all these links up in the my Twitter here. Get more people to come into the room. Welcome, welcome everybody who's already here. Hillary Clinton is speaking today. Hillary Clinton is about to speak not too soon, being the first woman to represent a major party in an election. So shout out to Hillary Clinton doing big things. Alright, penny stock live. Boom, send. Alright, so that's out. That is out. What's going on, everybody? Spartan Financial, Zero, Travi, welcome. Mr. Gomez, Mr. Flores, Robert Cunningham, welcome. People slowly coming into the room. Thank you, thank you. All right, let me see if I can I'll probably do that later. So unless you, Clay, what's going on? Unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple hours, Amazon has literally rocked Wall Street with their earnings report that came out at around 4 o'clock, 4:15. And the numbers Amazon put up were stupid. I mean, they just put up some stupid numbers for the quarter. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a whole year. This is a quarter. 3 months. They blew expectations out of the water. And Amazon I've said it before on the show, I think they're going to be the next Walmart. If not, they're going to blow right past Walmart. If you've got $1,000 to spare, you should own at least one Amazon stock because it's going to $1,000. Okay. The stock right now earns about $150 a month. You can go look at the chart, or at least $150 every 2 months. Amazon stock. Last time I checked, I want to say it's about $150 every 2 months. Let me see, AMZ. Let me look this up because now I'm curious. Amazon. Let me see. I know from the lows to the highs. Let me see here if I can. All right, I'm not gonna play around with E-Trade right now, but I know over the last 2 months it's like $150 or something like that. What's going on, David? So again, they reported sales up 31%. They made $30 billion in 3 months. $30 billion, man. That's insane. So there's no doubt in my mind, obviously, the stock is up pre-market. I'm not surprised, or aftermarket. I'm not surprised they put up numbers like that. Today was a really big day on the market, man. I know you guys are all about the small caps. Don't get me wrong. I am too. But you got to see what's going on in some of these large cap stocks, because I don't know about you guys here in the room. Thank you, Bovash. QTM was a very good stock. I mentioned QTM a couple times in here. Nobody really talked about it. Nobody really, but hey, I mean, whatever. Um, some people in the room want to make money, some people don't. Anyway, Facebook today passed Berkshire Hathaway. Facebook passed Berkshire Hathaway in market value today. They passed Berkshire Hathaway in market value. Ladies and gentlemen, that that means Facebook is more valuable than Geico. Facebook is more valuable than Coca-Cola. Facebook is more valuable. I mean, what else does Warren Buffett own? You know, he owns a ton of other crap. He owns a ton of other crap, and Facebook's worth more than all of that. Facebook today added $5 billion to their market cap today. So yeah, but like I was saying, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to stay in the small caps forever. Okay, I'm not trying to stay small cap forever. Okay, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to play 47-cent stocks 10 years from now. It's not happening. It's not happening. Not happening. Right? Because as traders, we all have goals. We all have goals of where we want to be, and I would consider it a disappointment if 5 years from now I'm playing $2-3 stocks. Honestly, I would consider it a disappointment. I would consider it a disappointment. Because at that point, I want my money to be in a certain position where these stocks they're too small for me. Don't get me wrong, penny stocks always have the big booms. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want my money to be that small where I'm trying to chase around 20-30% gains every 4 or 5 days. I don't want to have to deal with that. The ups and downs that deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with that. So shout out to Mark Zuckerberg for adding $5 billion. Can you imagine waking up and knowing that you are worth $5 billion more today than you are yesterday? That's crazy, man. That is crazy. So Facebook today reached an all-time high, and the stock is at what, $128? It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. I remember when people said that Facebook at $70 was ridiculous. Now it's $128, and that's so crazy because I know most of the people in the chat room right now. What's going on, Mag? David K, what's up? Everybody in the chat room. Contrarian, what's up? Everybody in the chat room right now is probably old enough to remember when Facebook came out, like traded, not came out, traded. We could have all got in that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I slept on it, man. I slept on Facebook. I knew it was a great website. I knew I was using it every day in school and all that stuff. But when your head is not in the right spot and you're not thinking about building long-term wealth for yourself and walking outside your house every morning thinking about, how can I make myself some money down the road? Program yourself to look for some opportunity. When you're not in that frame of mind, opportunities like this just blow right past you and you don't even recognize it. Opportunities like this blow right past you, you don't even recognize it. I don't think MySpace was a public company ever. Was MySpace a public company? Yeah, we're going to get into SPU, man. Yesterday everybody was RIP SPU. But man, some shorters got blown out today. You got some shorters blown out today. I mean, being 110 pounds and being put into the same cell as that nigga that was in that movie, The Green Mile. That's how blown out some of these motherfuckers got. I forgot that man's name. But yeah, those shorters got raped today on SPU. They got raped. Another great article today. I got this one off Market Watch. Key factors pushing oil prices to $35 a barrel. I think oil right now is at 42. But I know a lot of you guys are playing these commodity plays because I was very excited as commodity prices were running. I thought for the next 5-6 months they were going to be the shit. And we're going into a bearish environment now when we talk about oil. I don't think yet when we talk about gold and silver. Let me check out silverprice.org. The best place to get your price of gold and silver. So silverprice.org. Okay, so gold is still at $13.37. All right, so silver is still over $20. Okay, so gold and silver is still good. The hard metals are still good. And by the way, shout out to SZSMF. We opened today at 36, but motherfuckers, man, that's why I'm at that point with that stock where it's just like, man, if y'all don't let this damn stock run, just let the damn stock run. This stock could have been running, but you can't, you can't force investors' hand. It is what it is. We making money other places right now, so we gonna keep sitting on that one. So basically the article says, after a stellar run-up, oil prices are now in a bout of weakness. All right. Basically, the change is because Morgan Stanley released information saying that crude prices are going to be declining because they believe that there's significant oversupply and they don't believe that demand in third world countries or so-called underdeveloped countries are meeting what they need in order to keep the price high. They're not at that level. So oil prices are dropping. Man, there's too much oil on the market. There's basically too much oil on the market. And some of these stocks are getting hit because of it. Some of these stocks are getting hit because of it. Let me see what. Some of these stocks are getting hit because of it. I got out of CHK because of that. CHK, no news today, but barely, sideways action all day today. But CHK is very sensitive to the price of oil, even though they have a lot of natural gas assets, which drives me insane. And natural gas is up. Natural gas is up. But CHK, another stock that is running really nicely over the last couple days. But there was a dip recently. I just felt like there were some other opportunities out there. As I said, QTM. On the last couple of shows, I talked about QTM. I mean, look what it did, man. When you see these nice little plays, start reading some of these articles out here that these analysts put out. That was a nice play, man. I wish I went deeper. I wish I went deeper. Honestly, I honestly thought it wasn't going. The last, I said maybe like the last hour before the market opened, I was really unsure. I was like, shit, maybe I should like try to dump it pre-market, and it's not a pre-market. It doesn't even trade pre-market. Doesn't even trade pre-market. So I was like, oh shit. And then it opened up, and it was like, wow, oh shit. So QTM, I didn't even put no real money into it like that. So I'm actually kind of surprised. How you doing, Miss Petaway? FIFO Day Trader, what's going on? Yvonne, Random Pen, what's up? Oh yeah, Random Pen, don't worry. SZSMF, like I said, I don't play stocks unless I know we're at bottom. We're at the bottom or we're at a very safe level. So I go to sleep at night very well knowing how much I have in that stock because I know we're at a very safe level when it comes to that stock. So it might go up, down 2 cents, go up 2 cents, but I know that's the level. So we're just gonna sit and wait. But I do like how it runs like that once in a while. But I'm gonna need people to have the attitude like me. I mean, the stock we opened up at 36 today, could have ran, but you know, don't worry, the news is coming. The news is coming. So yeah, Morgan Stanley, going back to the article, Morgan Stanley's out there trying to keep the price of oil low as hell with all the articles they're putting out talking about how oil is going down to $30. And I mean, I don't know what it is with these banks. I mean, do you want to see companies go broke? Y'all don't want to get paid? You want them to default on the loans? Coming out with so many articles talking about how oil is going to keep going down. Investors losing trust in these stocks. And they're getting scared because, yes, the price of oil is going down. So be very careful to you guys that are in these oil-based plays. Also, if you were living under a rock, Ford Motor Company released probably the worst earnings that they have in quite a bit. You know, but it really wasn't that bad. The drop was a little too much, though. I think there's a consensus about the drop in Ford. It was a little bit too much. I thought Ford was going to get under 10 for a second. I was like, good God. Is Ford really about to be a penny stock? Because I would have been all over that one. I would have put everything I got in that one. Ford even tried to go under 10. But it settled at 12. Still a considerable drop, though. I mean, the stock lost 8% of its value today, which is honestly too much. And we already saw toward the end of the hour, toward the end of the trading day, toward the trend of the last hour of the trading day, the bargain hunters rushed in. And we went quickly from 11 to 12.70. I mean, Ford at $11 a share. That's a buy all day. That's just, you know, you got a what is it, like $1 dividend? I mean, that's a buy all day. I mean, Ford Motor Company at $11. You don't even have to think about that trade. $3 off its daily high. You're getting it at a $3 discount because of one earning cycle. You don't even have to think about that. You don't have to think about that. So if you're looking for something to keep your money in for a little bit, if you're not a hoorah type of running around chasing stocks, if you're a patient investor, Maybe if you've been losing in your trading and you're willing to be patient for the next maybe month or two, you're willing to get $1, $2 in your trade. Ford Motor Company right now at $12 a share. I think that's a bargain. You know, you're getting it at an 8% discount. You know, you might be able to get, you know, at least $100. I know you can't buy a ton of the stock, but you'll be able to get something out of it. We got people in the chat room right now ain't made $1 a month. Maybe you know you need a guaranteed win. This is probably what you're looking for right here. Ford Motor Company at $12 a share. You need a guaranteed win. Something you can put $2,000 in and come back 30 days from now and you know you're going to be up. Ford Motor Company right now. The return is not going to be crazy, but you're going to have a return. So, what was up in Penny Land? What's going on, Mr. Rivera? Hyan, hello. GoPro, yeah, shout out to GoPro, man. See, this is why these analysts, man, you can't be trusting these analysts. And I've been saying that for the last couple of days. You can't trust these analysts, man. I know there are people in the chat room right now. A couple months ago, doom and gloom was GoPro. Am I lying or not? GoPro down, GoPro losing value, is GoPro, blah, blah, blah. I mean, now looking back on it, that's the time to be buying. That's the time to be just, when everybody's scared like that, and it's a good company with a good product, man, buy that shit all day. I'm still learning as an investor, man. Obviously, I would have had to wait, but look at what GoPro has been doing. That wait would have been worth it. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, it's incredible. And you really could have played it 2 times. I see a big jump in July, and then it slowed down because of all that garbage and fear in mid-July. A lot of garbage and fear in mid-July. Drove the stock down. And of course, smart money is all over it. And look what you're at, 1302. See, when I look at GoPro right now at $13, and I think we're way off its highs, right? We're way off its highs. You got to remember, GoPro now at $13, and the reason I'm still talking about this stock, because it, you know, yes, it's not under 10, so it's not necessarily a penny stock, but it's still dirt cheap at $13. It's still cheap enough to where I know that you got some people in the room who can grab a couple hundred shares of that. And you got to remember, they came out saying today that they're going to be going back in the black. That they're going to be going back into the black. So that's huge news for GoPro. And what's the 52-week high on GoPro? What's the 52-week high on that? Damn, $65? Oh, shit. $65 is the 52-week high on GoPro when they were making money, and now we're in a situation where they're going to be making money again? Who said that they were going to be in GoPro till December? I think that was Barry Parker. Okay, yep. Barry, you that's smart money, Barry. Barry's the smart money right now. I like GoPro, but I'm big long in MoneyGram. I think MoneyGram has a lot of big upside too. So I like MoneyGram. MGI. I like MoneyGram long term. I like what they're doing. I think MoneyGram is too cheap right now. From what they're doing, they just opened up into Indonesia. They just made a really good acquisition for a provider out there in India. So I like MoneyGram long term. I like MoneyGram. So yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So let's go on. What's going on with the pennies? Back to the pennies. SPU, man, fuck Sky People fruit juice. I said it loud and clear. Fuck Sky People fruit juice. That must be some damn good juice because this pump will not die, man. This pump will not die. I mean, the stock was up 30% today, and that wasn't even the high. That wasn't even the high. This thing just won't die, man. Just won't die. Yeah, zero. We talked about it. TRTC. Yeah, TRTC. Nice little pump there. TRTC. You know, we were just talking about that, Bovash. I'm telling you, people got to start watching these marijuana plays. It's almost that time of year. It's almost that time of year. Election time. 772. Treasure Hunter, what's good?
Not much, man. You got me cracking up about that Sky People fruit juice.
Man, I don't know what's going on with that damn company, that damn pump, but I don't know where these new investors are coming from because you got to understand what kills pumps is that there's not new money coming in. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where this new money is coming from. It's crazy.
Damn, that's funny because I mean I looked at it today too, man. I thought about jumping on that bitch. I'm like, wow, like you said, it just won't die. That one, and I was looking at a SSH also.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe like a long-term play.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not too for sure what the company do, but I just like read the charts.
Okay.
And you know, I'm doing this for a living, so I did transfer to Robinhood. So you know, what I'm saying I was gonna ask you, man, how long does it take? Because I just pulled a couple of stacks in that bitch today, Friday, and they said a week. So I'm hoping, you know, what I'm saying, get some income coming in like ASAP. How long did it take for you for the like after you deposit the cash?
My money wasn't. That's what I don't understand why people are saying that because my money was in there in less than a day. I don't know where people are saying it's taking a week. Yes, I mean,
Well, you're famous.
I know.
You
Come on,
people.
man. Yeah, are you serious? SunTrust. I have SunTrust account and I have a Wells Fargo account. And I have some other little small banks I work with, but SunTrust and Wells Fargo, they're both on when you go sign up, like add an account or whatever. So,
Yeah.
do you have one of those accounts that was listed there or no?
Yeah. SunTrust.
Okay. That's that's
Yeah.
that's
So
weird because I put in my money. I put in my money and I saw it right there on the platform. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how people are saying that they gotta wait a week or what, but
Man, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, now go ahead. Like, why did they say a week? I don't understand.
Bro, you got me, but like I'm saying, I'm hoping my ass like Monday morning when the market open at 9:30, that you know what I'm saying, they say I'm good to go, so I could like jump on this stuff, you know.
Okay.
Because I'm saying I was looking at SSH, bro, and you know what I'm saying, did my charts and it was like 88 cents. Then it jumped all the way up to 97 cents, and I thought he was gonna like keep running, you know what I'm saying. I try and do a Lloyd, you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
And you know, up to the dollars two, you know, try to flip some. But then after 97 cents, he dropped back down to 89 cents. So I'm like, I'm keeping my eyes open for him. And then his partner HHS was not doing too good, so
Mm.
I ain't gonna put money on him. So you know what I'm saying? What do you think? What do you guys in the chat room think about the SSH? You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Looks like
You know, it's gaining.
yeah, it looks like it's a medical device company specializing
Hmm.
in cardiac and coronary diseases, C-pulse, heart assist system,
You know, something like
ambulatory.
that.
Okay.
One good call or explode. You know, pull a Lloyd, the super wave nova.
Yeah, I mean, companies like this, when you're talking about medical devices and stuff like that, what moves these companies are like big orders.
Hmm.
Big orders, or let's say they get an insurance company to come out and saying that we'll cover the product. There's a penny stock. Some people in the chat room probably are familiar with it, but it's I can't like the stock off the top of my head. It's a robotic company which basically sells suits for paralyzed people.
Yeah.
They basically sell this suit. I mean, it's a big ass little, Gundam wing looking motherfucking thing, and yeah, seriously, they put it on their bottom. They look like freaking Gundam wing warriors. They strap the suit up, and
Like they're Terminators.
yeah, like little damn, so and it helps them walk, right? So
Yeah.
what moved that stock one day was an insurance company came out and said it was one of the Blue Crosses or something like that. Some state
Yeah.
came out and said we're going to start writing policies to
Yeah.
cover this little bionic, walking device.
Bro, they
So
probably listening to you. Because I remember a while ago you was talking about you want RoboCop as being the police. And they said, damn, we can make handicaps, you know what I'm saying, like serve and protect the
yeah,
country.
I mean
Yeah.
this was way before then, but I mean I get what you're
Yeah.
saying, but
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I mean these are things that need to move the stocks like this up. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you can look in their
Somebody
history
talk
and
some
their new
hype.
yeah, I mean look in their
Yeah.
history of their news,
Yeah.
see
So,
who are their customers, who are they selling to? Are there any large orders coming in anytime soon?
I'm going to do some research this weekend because, like I said, I did read the charts, and from a couple of cents, you know, what I'm saying that bitch like skyrocketed up to 97. I was like, oh yeah, I'm on to
Mm,
something.
mm,
But then, like I said, he dropped back down, so I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes open for him. And I don't know what caused the drop down, you know.
sure.
And another thing about that, the RoboCop police, don't forget now, it was a bad evil cop too. You know what I'm saying? Somebody put a wrong chip in the good cops, you know. That's all you need is these good police RoboCops spraying up the innocent bystanders.
That's true. That's true. We'll see. We'll see, man.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Keep my ears open and I finish watching your show, man. It's pretty tight. It's getting kind of interesting.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call.
Anytime, cousin.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Treasure Hunter. That's Treasure Hunter. And that stock that I was talking about with the bionic suits, I had to look it up. It was EXO, EKSO. That's the company that has the little bionic suits and shit that they sell, saying that they can help people walk again and whatever. But I mean, that stock moves, so don't sleep on it. It's a penny stock. They've got real like earnings, and they actually like have a couple insurance companies that are willing to cover the purchase of these little exoskeletons that they sell. Really creepy as hell. I mean, when you look at some of the videos it's really creepy. But it's a penny stock that not too long ago, was a laughing stock, and now you actually kind of have to take them seriously. Exobionics, Exobionics, EKSO. Is it EKSOD? I think okay, EKSOD, I guess, or EKSO. So yeah, it's actually a stock that moves, and like I said, this stock went from basically nothing. And look at the chart, by the way, guys. Look at the chart. I mean, just look at the last couple months. Back in May, it was trading at 89 cents, and now we're at $6. So the reason why that moved is because they got a contract from an insurance company that said that they were going to start covering these exoskeletons. So absolutely ridiculous, but don't sleep on some of these things, man. These medical device companies can move. They can move. What's going on, V? All right. So yeah, shout out to Treasure Hunter for that SSH. So yeah, I mean, if you like it, man, and they got some things happening, why not? You know, hang on as if you're willing to go for the ride, because things can happen. And that EXO is a perfect example, a dead stock that you know finally got its big break. Groupon was up today. Groupon is one of those companies that hadn't been doing anything for a long time, but I mean you gotta had to figure something was going to happen there eventually. And Groupon, man, I this had to be an earnings play, and it completely really went off my radar because I paid no attention to Groupon. I knew it was a penny stock. I knew they were going through some serious issues, but it had fell out of favor for so long. It had fell out of favor for so long. And if you look at the way the stock happened, like the end of last year, who would have want to touch that? Mr. Lloyd, what's going on?
What's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? I can't see nobody right now because I'm in a restaurant from the Disney World to so.
Not a problem, not a problem, Mr. Lloyd. How's everything going?
Ah man, the other day was a hard lesson, but
Yeah.
I mean I'm pretty confident in my stock, and the reason why I'm confident, this is the third time it's done this.
Okay.
The INNV.
Okay.
So it did this when it went from like subsets to 19 cents.
Mm.
It dipped out. I bought in at 22. Then it ran all the way up to 30 like it did in the 60s, and I got in the top of 30s and it dipped out again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty upset because it was just leveled there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when it did it again, of course I didn't buy it to 60, but the thing that I made a mistake on is that I didn't pull my money out and then recycle back in there again. So you guys got to remember to take those profits. But the problem, you know what I just realized? So this is a very important factor. The fact is that I signed up with Capital One Share Builder.
Okay.
If I would have pulled the money out and then pulled it back in, there's some type of I tried to do this with one stock that went up 15% for me because I put in some money and I wanted to pull it out once I reached my target.
Mm-hmm.
It told me that I had to wait 3 days for it to clear, or they're going to hold my money for 90 days. So I would have to sit in the stock for 3 days.
Now, who said this? This was your broker said this?
Yeah, Capital One, and I got to get the actual name because I was pretty upset because it went up, and that NEOT. Did you remember that NEOT I sent you?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. So I got it at $1.06. I figured that was a good entry to get in.
Mm-hmm.
It went up and it went down, and I caught the entry. It went up to $1.20, and I couldn't pull my money out because they called it. There was some type of term. I got to get the actual term when I get home, but I think you guys maybe
Was it a PDT rule situation or
No. It was some type of, because the funds need to clear. So if I pulled out, because I just bought the stock, if I pulled out, then they called it something. So there's a term for it, like a bagger or something. I can't think of the exact term.
Mm-hmm.
When I get home in probably about an hour and a half, I'll go ahead and give you guys that name. But it's don't get share builder, okay? I need to switch my money over to E-Trade.
Yeah.
So that was the problem that I had, man. But yeah, that was a hard lesson learned about losing $2,000. Now I'm up to 4,000 again, so I'm okay. I'm only down 1,000.
Okay.
But so I think it's going to run again. But next time it runs up, I'll pull it out. But
yeah.
my fear is this: it's not being able to get back in and pull it again without holding it for 3 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we got some people in the chat room wondering, Lloyd, why? I mean, we were so happy that you had the 5,000. Why didn't you take profits at that time? What made you feel like it could keep going?
So let me tell you guys something, and it's for you guys that are new. And if you ever, I mean, $100 isn't, it's good, I mean, I don't mind taking out $100. When you have $5,000 looking you in your face, it's almost like you're in the headlights, okay? Because I never imagined to have that much money in that short time. and everything was going. I mean, it's not like I was a millionaire or nothing like that. But it made me basically. I was at work having a panic attack because I was thinking like, what the hell am I doing working? I can make this happen money at home. And so by the time I realized it, it was already too late. The market was closed.
Wow.
But it's okay, man. I mean, it was a lesson learned. But if I didn't know this particular stock, I probably would have been worried to death. But I know that if you look at the pattern of their stock, it went this 3 times. So it did it at 19 cents.
Mm.
It did it at the 30 cents. And now it's doing it again at the 60 cents. Right now it's consolidating. As you see, it held at 55 cents.
Mm.
So it's going to make another run again, but they are come down a little bit to kind of cool off, and the profit taker's already out. I mean, that thing is really coiled and getting ready to explode again to the next leg. I suspect it's going to be about 71 cents, and once it gets up there, I'm going to pull out. Matter of fact, I have an E-Trade account that has money in it, and I'm just going ahead and use the E-Trade account and then try to switch my capital money over to the E-Trade.
Okay.
So. But, yeah, as soon as I get home, I'll give you guys that name. So if you guys get some large funds, don't get that deer in the headlights. You know what? You told me this a long time ago. Put that my mama. Hard hand makes fast.
All right.
I sure did.
All right, Lloyd. All right, Lloyd. It sounds like go ahead and get home and call us from a better location. Sounds like you're using one of those Obama phones or something right now. So. Hey, I'm gonna need you to cash out and get off Metro PCS, man.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you about an hour.
All right, man. We'll talk later. All right. Mr. Lloyd Phones got all that money locked up in the stock. Sell those shares to get yourself a better phone, man. All right. So welcome to everybody who got back in here. Rhea G, Blueberry J, LK Rob, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Yes, AMDA is being pumped right now. AMDA is being pumped right now. But, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a multiple day thing. I don't know if that's going to be a multiple day thing. Some promoters get paid to pump a stock for one day just to help somebody get out of a position. LCLP. Life Clips. Life Clips is a stock that's ran before. It was on the biggest gainer list not too long ago. Nice little run up there. But Life Clips has a tendency not to hold its gains. So I would just be careful there. If you look at some of the run-ups in the past, it has a tendency not to hold its gains. So I'll be very careful with that one. I'll be very careful to hold with that one. Yeah, man, Sprint is just, it's going to touch 6 again. That decline yesterday was just another entry. That decline yesterday in Sprint was just another opportunity for people to get in again. You had some people that were in deep, people who were in there from the 4s that were looking to get out and cash out. I mean, think about it. If you got in at the 450 when all that bullshit was being talked about on how, Sprint was going down, Sprint was going there. Yesterday was an opportunity for you to get in at a cheap price on Sprint. And then tomorrow you might see a little bit of profit taking again because, again, you got some people in here who come in Sprint. This is a stock that, like 20, 30 million shares. Yeah, 20 million shares get traded. You got a couple millionaires in here, all right, on a 2% gain. Think about it. You got 50 grand, 60 grand. You go in Sprint. You made 2% on your money. You take it and run with it, man. You take it and run with it. So shout out to people who got back in on Sprint. I'm looking for other opportunities, but Sprint, yeah, shout out to that. Sprint did another great run. CETX, yeah, CETX. When I made that video, people didn't believe me. And a lot of times people don't, until the money's being made, and that's when, hey man, you were right about that one. You're right about that one, man. CETX is another one. Go see when I made the video, man. I got scared out of it, and then I got back in, and I'm not nowhere near as big as I was to begin with, but it's nice to see the stock still running the way it is. So CETX sideways day to day, nothing serious, but we'll see what happens in the future. Nice run so far, though. Nice run so far. Yeah, Eden, we were talking about these marijuana plays, man. I'm not sleeping on any of these marijuana stocks. We've talked about these marijuana plays. We got the election coming up here. We got several states going to be voting on marijuana. The biggest players in the space, no doubt about it, MJNA and TRTC. TRTC spiked today. TerraTech spiked today. Up a nickel. You got some people getting in there. MJNA, obviously a lot more shares out there. But MJNA, I think is a situation where there might be too much float. MJNA, but I wouldn't be frightened by that though. I wouldn't be necessarily scared by it because you're still waiting for the momentum to come into the stock when you talk about MJNA. Because you got to remember, value investors don't drive prices higher. Momentum investors do. People like me who sit and will wait 7, 14, 20 days in a stock, we don't drive stocks higher. People who momentum trade, people who are day traders, people who kind of are really short-term intraday traders, those people who move stocks like that. Very rarely do value investors move stocks. If anything, they move stocks, the other way when stocks are going down and they're hitting, people's stop losses. Those are value investors who have stop losses to protect gains or to minimize losses. And that's why stocks go down faster than they go up. Yeah, thank you, Tony. But QTM, I don't know if DITR was in the room. DITR asked me, I think it was yesterday, he asked me after hours, and like I told people in the chat room, I was scared as hell that I had anything in that. And I said, nah, I don't think it's going to run. I don't think anything's going to happen to that. I was scared as hell. I couldn't sell pre-market. I told him it wasn't going to run. And I was kind of embarrassed because I didn't want to say that I had money on it. As much as I had been talking about the stock, when the show was over, I started really looking to the financials, and I was just like, nah, don't get into it. And I was kind of regretting that I was telling people QTM, QTM, QTM. So that was a situation where it surprised me. Because up until it opened, I was telling people, don't, stay away from it. Even though on the show, I was saying I'm in it, I like it, I think it can do something. I read some things last night that scared the shit out of me. I really read some things in the 10K from last year that scared the shit out of me. So it was a nice surprise. But I was nowhere near in the stock to really seriously benefit from it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm made something, but nowhere near what I could have. Nowhere near because I talked myself out of it. Sal, can you punch TKAI? Thank you, Jay. TKAI. TKAI. Um, what happened here? Was it a failed drug? I see that gap down. Big gap down, and all of a sudden now we've got a lot of volume. We got a lot of bargain players now in it. I've never understood why stocks like this, pharmaceutical stocks, they crash and then all of a sudden there's momentum in the stock and there's volume like all over the place. When you look at TKAI, there's like nothing before Tuesday, and then the stock crashes Tuesday, and since Tuesday, it's at a couple 100,000 shares traded actively every day. I never understood that. Now that the stock has crashed, it's all of a sudden more valuable. Educational videos. I have so many videos, Job Warrior. I can take some time to look for some tomorrow. And you guys know tomorrow is the talk about anything day, so we can bring up anything there. And I'll probably bring some videos. I'll probably bring some new videos that I may not have given you guys yet. But right now, I'm trying to catch up on some books. I love the videos though. Videos are good. Videos are good, but the real deep stuff you get in the books, man. Books. That's where the real deep stuff is. Videos are great. Videos are great. But let's see here. Uh, uh, uh. Let's see. Is Hillary Clinton up yet? No. Okay. She ain't up yet. One moment here as I get situated. So why are you not getting an email alert? I'm not sure, Bill. I'm not sure. Focus on money. It was called INNV. INNV. And I told Lloyd, you're up 5 grand. Take your money out, man. Take your money out. And he sent me an email yesterday talking about how he had lost 1,000. And today he had a pretty good day, so he said he's at 44 something. So he'll call us when he gets home. And but he says the stock's going to keep running, so we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, he got in early, so he's enjoying the big gains that the stock is delivering. But Bill, I'm not sure why you're not getting that alert. I mean, I haven't changed anything. Yeah, Bill did talk about a limb. And Bill, do you think a limb is going to keep running? Do you think a limb is going to keep running, or was this a one-day situation? Because now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, okay, some profits are going to be taken tomorrow in ALIM. Yeah, so Mr. Lloyd unfortunately did not take profits. Um, yeah, I mean that's exactly Dallas. What Dallas is just saying, I would have done. But I mean, if he sees something in the price that's going to continue, going up in value, maybe something his indicators are saying, maybe there's some research he's done. Earnings, earnings August 4th. Okay, earnings August 4th. Earnings August 4th. Um, it was really interesting to see the other stocks that I'm liking right now down. MoneyGram 1%, Ruby Tuesday, Office Depot. So all were down a little light today. All were down a little light today. So uh, very sideways day for me. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Cool cats, MoneyGram, apps, and many other. You can go to Nasdaq.com earnings calendar, and you can get all the insight of who's going to be releasing earnings. Let me see here. Let me get the right date on that. Yeah, apps actually moved to August 9th. That was kind of interesting. I'm not sure why, but apps is August 9th now. Uh, Let me see here. Apps is August 9th. And let me make sure Office Depot didn't change. That's why I put in that email. I put that asterisk because these companies will change it. So Office Depot look moved one day ahead to August 3rd. So Office Depot is August 3rd. Ruby Tuesdays is August 11th. So Ruby Tuesdays is back August 11th. So really, really frustrating when that happens. But Ruby Tuesdays, they need to come out with earnings like now. That's what they need. And then this company, one of this company was saying that this website was saying that MoneyGram is releasing earnings tomorrow, but I don't see any news of that. When the Nasdaq site is saying August 4th. So some of these sites, they don't get it twisted. I wish there was a website that was just very clear about who's releasing earnings and when. 832, what's up?
What's up, Saul? I got a hot stock tip for you.
You said what?
I have a hot stock tip for you.
What is that?
All right. Well, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's pretty new recently. It's Black Slaves.
All right, so that faggot, I gotta find out a way to permanently get him out of here.
Ultra kill. Gotcha, bitch.
All right, that guy. What a damn loser! What a loser, man! Just a loser, right? Just a loser. That my thing is just as a man, bro. What a loser. I don't. My thing is like, what does he think that will change? Like, what a loser, bro. What a loser. Yeah, I know he's gay. That's why he keeps calling me because he's gay and he was mad that I exposed him because I think it's the same guy who called me and I know he's gay. I know for a fact he takes it up the butt and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I don't have any problem. He's just mad at me because I exposed the fact that he takes dick up his ass publicly, and that's not cool to a lot of people who do that. That's not cool. Anyway, let's see. All right. What else was up here? Let me see. The street biggest gainers. Let me see. All right. Box was interesting. Box is that company, that cloud software company. And I actually like Box. I do like Box. Is that the cloud? I think it is the cloud company, right? Yeah, that cloud company. I like Box. I like their little thing that they got going on. It's a little cloud-based thing. I actually like it on my phone and stuff like that. I remember a lot of older phones had the box software on it. I know newer phones have it now, but I don't think that they come pre-packaged anymore. But that box software, I actually like them. I like them a lot. Not a problem, Kenneth. Not a problem. So shout out to Box. Box was up today, and I didn't think the stock would be that cheap. It's an $11 stock. It's been kind of sideways, so not much action. But really nice action this last week. 1057 to 1177, so almost $1 a share gain in BOX. So shout out to Box. I like what they're doing. I like that company a lot. I like the software. I like the software. I really do. BOX making the top gainers today. What else? Kona Grill, 17% gain. Um, anything else that was? Yeah, ticker symbol BOX. Yeah, they got the website and they got the little iPhone app and they have an app for Android too. And that thing will save anything. It'll back up your whole phone, really. My only problem with that is that Google has their own little version. Google, I forgot what it's called, but Google practically downloads your whole phone when you switch to another Android phone. You put your email and they'll send all your apps to your new phone. So, I mean, how do you make money in an environment like that when you've got a competitor that's giving away the product you offer pretty much free? Pretty much free. Let me see. Cartesian. What is that company about? CRTN. CRTN. What is that? Management consulting company. Provides technical consultancy services. Oh, okay. One of those companies. I don't like investing in companies like that. Like we're a consulting companies. Those are so cyclical and so, they do one thing and they lose a contract. The next thing you know, you're down 50% in companies like that. I don't like consulting as a service businesses. I don't like those at all. You said BGI went down? If BGI went down, how far down did it go? 8%? BGI is down 8%. Well, don't let it go down too low. I mean, like I said, it's back in the black. I could see it's looking for some kind of support. And based on the chart, the support is at 188 on BGI. And I'm looking at the lowest level, not that little drop down it did one time. I'm looking at that one point there on July the 12th when it hit like 187. So there's a level at 187 in BGI where they're saying, no, no, sir. That might be an opportunity for you if it gets down that low. If it gets down that low. Yeah. All right. So what's going on? Oshkosh. Ugh. No, no, thank you. Let's see here. What else was hot today? I did not know Groupon was that cheap, though. I mean, I knew Groupon was cheap, but I didn't think it was still that cheap. Archon, ICAD, TAKI. Very, I mean, otherwise it was a very uneventful day today on the market. It really was. Um, ADVN. Otherwise, for me, it was very uneventful. So if anybody else has some deep, interesting stuff that happened today on the stock. Today was very sideways, man. Very sideways. ADVM. Yeah, I think you tweeted me about this DITR. This is a nice run, but I mean, I should be asking you if this will continue. I have no idea what pushed it up higher. When you sent that to me, I think it was you, and I was wondering what drove it up. I didn't get a chance to really look into it. No, you don't have to pay a fee. If I'm correct, for people in here who use Groupon, you actually buy the product, and the person selling it, I think, cuts Groupon a fee. When you do the transaction, it cuts Groupon a fee. Not on your end, but on the provider's end. You know, on the provider's end. Yeah, Jay. I mean, if you want to call in and got some stocks, but basically the stocks that I was watching today, very uneventful. That's why I started off the show with some large cap news, because in the small cap world today, not much going on today. Uh, Besides the Sky People fruit juice crap, and for the most part, if you look on the biggest gainer list, there's a bunch of real nobodies. It's a bunch of real nobodies that we really don't talk about in here. We haven't talked about. I don't think there's one company on here on the biggest gainers list for Nasdaq. We haven't talked about a single one of these. And looking at the charts, these are kind of one and dones. I don't think they'll ever see these prices again, because I'm looking at a lot of one and done charts. Naked Brand Group, NAKD. What is? Let me see. NAKD up 20%. NAKD. What was the news there? Let's find out. NAKD. That was one of those very, very rare. All right, so the company is losing a lot of money. Wait times X edition. What is that? Brand Group is Innovative Lifetime. WeAreNaked.com. The pre-sale launch of their website in collaboration with Dwayne Wade. Okay. Shout out to Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade getting into the business now, NAKD. 281, what's up?
Hello?
Hey, you're on the air.
Okay, I trust you know that the only one taking up the bud's your mom, bro.
Ugh.
Get out of here, you damn nigger!
All right. This man went and got his boyfriend's phone to call in. He went and got his boyfriend's phone to call in again. All right. You see how excited he is to talk to me. I mean, he's so excited. He's like, "Oh my God, I get to talk to Sal, the small cap millionaire. Oh my God." He's so excited when he calls up. He's always laughing and giddy, and I mean, I appreciate that I have that much of an effect on you, man. I mean, shout out to that homie, man, for real. Because we know that hate is really affection. You know, it's really admiration. So shout out to him, man. You know, but no, I'm not going to let you suck my dick. No, I'm not going to let you, you know, come to my house butt naked or some bullshit. You won't be asked to come to my house anyway, but, you know. I know that's what you really want, man. It's all good. You know. Yeah. I mean, I know that's what he really wants. I mean, I know that's what he really wants. He's too excited. You know what I'm saying? When a man doesn't like another man, you don't pick up the phone so excited like that. You know. Um, High volume stocks. You have two for anyone. Oh yeah. Bill Betts. Hey Bill, I don't think I've taken a call from you, man. Bill Betts, call up and give us those stocks. Bill Betts, call up and give us those stocks. Yeah, Yvonne, I think you're right, Ivan. I think you're right. Let's see what NAK has been slowly. The thing that bothers me about NAK is that it doesn't hold its gains. If you guys remember, NAK went from 36 to 57 in a matter of 2 days. Back in early July. In about early July, they went from 36 cents to 57 cents. They ran again today, so I'm always on the lookout for NAK because that stock runs really tight, and it really does move. Um, so to see it on its biggest gainers list again is very suspicious. It's very suspicious with that play because that stock really does move. Really does move. EBIO? No, I'm not an EBIO. Nice play though. Nice play though. EBIO. Nice play though. Everything I've said this before, but every time I hear EBIO, I think of KBIO when that exploded. Yeah, but shout out to Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade. I didn't even know Dwayne Wade had a clothing line. But look at Dwayne Wade trying to move stocks. Look at Dwayne Wade trying to move stocks. And his line of call is called Wade Naked. I mean, Dwayne Wade's a good basketball player, but I didn't know he was a fashion dude. I mean, I know the guy who plays for the Timberwolves. I can see him doing something like this. What's his name? Not the tall guy who left, but the guard. Uh, you guys know his name. He's a fashion connoisseur. He's a fashion connoisseur. No, Zinc. Zinc is You remember Zinc is that bankrupt company. Zinc is that bankrupt company that I was screaming to James that I want this to go down to like 36 before I jump in it, or 34, 30. The support is at 32. The support is at 32. 832. You can keep trying, but I'm not going to let you come through. 832. You can keep trying. I know you can keep trying, but it's not happening. You can keep trying, but it's not happening. But zinc support is at 31, 31, 30. And I'm not touching the stock until it gets down that low. But James, I don't think James is in the chat room yet, but it's been tough. It's been tough. Yeah, Westbrook. There we go. Yeah, Westbrook. He's the fashion guy. So it's interesting to see Dwayne Wade. So if you guys want to see that Dwayne Wade promo, here's the link in the chat room. And that's the Dwayne Wade pump, basically. I might as well just call it the Dwayne Wade pump. Just call it the Dwayne Wade pump. Hey, stop calling. You're not getting through. I hung up on his ass. I hung up on his ass. Um, yeah, I mean, what's going on, Bill? You don't want to call in, man? Bill, you don't want to call in? Yeah, James Bond is the guy who was really on zinc. Dallas said he's looking for other avenues. That's hilarious. Looking for other avenues. But you know what, Dallas, you actually got a point there, man. I do notice when they're at the tail end of their careers, you start seeing them get involved in these pump and dumps. You got to remember Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Sykes went after Shaquille O'Neal. Toward his end of his career, Shaquille O'Neal was getting involved in these pump and dumps. A lot of these NBA players get into a lot of these little pump and dumps, man. And I think, I don't know if it was DITR or somebody in that, but there's a Patriots lineman right now who's like pushing this drink. What's that Patriots lineman that's pushing this drink right now? I think it's like DVT. It's something on the OTC markets. Let me find that shit. And he's pushing this drink that he wants everybody to drink. Let me see. Yeah, Tony Johnson. CBB is one of those plays I'm in. CBB is a patient play, man. You just gotta wait till earnings for that one. CBB is a wait till earnings for that one. I put that in my email. CBB is one of those. CBB is definitely one of those. Let's see if this is another troll. 228. What's up?
Yeah, hello, this is Bill.
Bill, is this you?
Yeah, this is Bill.
Hey, what's going on, man? I mean, it's good to have you call up. It's kind of surprising because I didn't think you'd actually do it.
No, man, I got my pants on and I called it, bro.
You got your
Hello?
pants on and called in, huh?
Like my serious pants, you know.
Shut your bitch ass up!
What the fuck?
I don't think that was Bill. 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 I think it was a troll. I don't think that was Bill. I don't think that was Bill. Hey, hey, Bill, was that really you? I want Bill in the chat room to say something. Yeah, I mean that one was the napalm. Yeah, see, I thought so, man. I thought so. Yeah, I used the napalm on that one. I haven't dropped the napalm on anybody. So that was the napalm. That was a napalm. Yes, sir. James had to get out of there. You know, I had too many videos. You know how it is in the deep, man. People go online, see you talking about money. They think you got it somewhere in the house somewhere. So there were too many people saying my name. I had to get up out of there. I had to get up out of there. Unknown number. You're definitely not getting on the line. I don't know who you are calling from unknown number. Not getting on. You're not getting on. Yeah, yeah. I dropped that napalm on him. Saw he was screaming while the bomb dropped. The guy was screaming while the bomb dropped. CYTR. CYTR. Citrix. I have no idea what this stock is about, but I don't like the gap downs. There's been a couple gap downs these last couple weeks in the stock. 2 gap downs. Two gap downs. $914, what's up?
Hello, Sal. How are you?
Doing good. How are you? Got a stock for
Good.
us?
Yes, actually, I'm on the live. I'm looking at it, but last time I thought I came on right away.
Oh, okay.
But I sent you a message on YouTube about TRTC,
Yes.
and I know you've been pushing it. However, I think there's a delay there.
Yeah, yeah. Listen to me on the phone. Don't listen to me on the.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. TRTC. I sent you the note on the YouTube.
Okay.
I know you've been talking about it for the past few months. However, I think it just broke the support, the resistance of 37. I think 37 cents.
Okay.
And it's above the 20, 50, and the 200 simple moving average.
Yeah.
So that's a clear indication that this stock is going to go up. I just wanted you to look at it for a second.
Yeah, yeah. I really like TRTC. Now, are you in the stock yourself personally?
Well, I'm planning on getting on that tomorrow.
Okay.
I was just waiting for it to break the resistance.
Okay.
I didn't want to jump in there before then.
Sure. Now, what's your plan for the stock? Are you looking to ride it all the way till election day? What's your plan?
Well, they announced earnings for August 16th, so I'm waiting until then.
Okay. All right. So you're expecting basically a earnings surprise for the company.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Appreciate it,
And
man.
it's been trading a tight range for the past 2 months,
Yes,
and
it
it finally broke it. So even if I don't hold it up until the day of, but I intend on holding it for at least 10 to 20% gain.
Yeah, it looks like the word is out. I mean, maybe somebody got some inside information, but the buying has been pretty deep, so something is going on there for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. But I've been following it since I heard about it. But I'm on it.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I mean he's on the money. I mean it's broken pretty much every SMA out. I mean it's done a good job. TRTC is alive again, and I know what it's done previous years. If you go back, 2014, it's done some big things. It's done some big things. So TRTC is alive and well, and I'm not promoting or anything. I just the stock is moving. 212, what's up? 212, anybody there? All right, you're out. You're long gone. All right. So yeah, yeah. I mean TRTC is is alive, man. So this might be a nice little run to jump off. They said earnings was next week. Oh, he said the 14th or something, right? I think he said the 14th or so. So, hey, what's going on, Tehran? Blueberry said, "Can I play the song in the background? What's the song?" Oh, this is a classic right here. Yeah, good song, Jay. I'm gonna have to find out the. I'm not trying to get my channel deleted, so I'd have to find out what the rights are on that crap. That's a classic jam, though. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but in order to play songs, I gotta actually be able to make sure that you know, so that I don't wake up tomorrow and then my channel's deleted for a copyright violation. Yeah, he was talking about TRTC, Tony Johnson. And yeah, Jay, it was a 212 caller. Silver core metals. What's the SVMLF? Let me see. Since I'm already at OTC markets, silver core metals. Nice volume for a OTC play that high. $3 a share. Interesting. 305, what's up?
Thanks for signing up for Cat Facts. You will now receive a daily phone call with a fun fact about
Finish
cats.
him. Flawless victory.
All right. Get him out of there. Yeah, Dallas, just seeing what's going on with it. Oh, 7,500 subs. Yes, thank you, Yvonne. Woo! Thank you for letting me know I passed 7,500 subs. That's what's up, man. I'm hoping by December I can get that up to at least 9,000, maybe even 10,000. So yeah, these I'm gonna start really rushing, man. I got so much content I'm sitting on. I don't know why I'm sitting on all this content, but I'll be making stuff and I'm thinking like, that's not good. I'm not gonna put that out. You know. Yeah, I mean he acting like it's his damn job. Like if you getting paid to troll, homie, hook me up. Hook me up. I don't trade every day. I would love to make some extra money. Um, yeah. Yeah, you already know what it is, Bovash. But going back to Tehran, man. Um, silver core metals, man. It actually holds its price pretty legit. It actually holds its price pretty well. It moves almost like a Nasdaq stock here when I look at the charts. 3 days you gain what? 35 cents 3 days? From 255 to 295, almost 40 cents. Yeah, 40 cents. A nice little move there. Silver core metals. Yeah, it must be a troll day because I'm getting all these damn calls. Like somebody from 305, 736 at the same time. So if you ain't in the chat room, I ain't picking up the thing unless you let me know in the chat room what number you calling from. You said do a video with my neighbor's dog. No, I want to kill that dog. Are you killing me? I'm trying to kill that dog. He know it too. Is there any video strictly on fundamental connection? Strictly on fundamentals in connection with news? Lennox, I'm kind of confused with what you're asking me. would I use Robinhood or TD? Starting out, if I was starting today, I would go to Robinhood all day, man. We have a guy in the chat room, Travi. He already explained it. I mean, sign up with TD because it's free to open an account and you can use all the tools, right? So use the tools in TD to do your research and find your place, and then make your picks in Robinhood. Because both brokers, you're going to be affected by the PDT rule anyway, so you might as well do Robinhood where you're using your limit orders, getting the free trades, and then doing your research in TD. All right. But Tehran, I'm looking at your SVSMLF. Let's go into the filings here. Let's look at what this, it's a foreign company, so it's going to be that 40F for foreign. So let's look at what's in that 40F. Let's see here. Got a lot of blubber in it, man. A lot of I can't stand when I go into filings and I see a lot of blubber. Let's get to the numbers, man. I don't need to know all this other bull crap. Things that are not important. See, I'm on page 27 and we still ain't on the numbers yet. It's got a 187 page 40F. That's ridiculous. This company is not that big. See, now it's making me nervous already because a lot of this shit is not important. See, they're putting in, Tehran, they're putting in project production schedules and all that. That has nothing to do with anything right now. That's not even important to. See, that shit is frustrating, man. When you look on the 10K and it's got a lot of blubber like that, that's what I call it blubber. It's just bullshit. Like, that's not important. Let's get to it. Dude, I'm on page. This is ridiculous. March. Now I got expressed in thousands of US dollars and otherwise stated. So is this net loss? 2015. Well, the company's losing money, but they did produce a gross profit in Q4 of fiscal 2016. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a deeper understanding. I'm gonna have to read this one a little bit better, Tehran. The numbers look kind of funny. And I'm not saying that in a bad way because these foreign financials, but this is not very listed very clearly. It's not listed very clearly because there's a lot of bullshit in here. 702, I think this is Jay. What's going on, man?
How you doing, Sal? Jay speaking.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Not much, man. Made a good gains on Wednesdays and similar gains today.
Okay.
So where should we start? Wednesday, top it off. I did a short swing on the Fed rate hike announcement.
Okay.
If anybody was aware of that, the Fed decided not to hike rate.
Right.
Yeah.
And I expected that. I mean, look at the environment. They definitely weren't going to do that.
So, like every Fed play, I played silver because I felt silver at the time was undervalued. Normally, historically, ancient history, silver and gold ratio is about 15-1, 20-1. Recently, in the past few months, it's been roughly upwards of 75-1, 60-1. So I felt gold was, or silver was undervalued, so I traded a silver ETF, ticker sign SLV. It's in the upper 20s actually, but I rode that up Wednesday. Not too bad actually. Wednesday, took it around from $19 to about 1920-ish to 1940-ish. So only 20-cent gain per share, but no biggie. And then the swing trade overnight was IAG because I figured gold would go up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because gold and silver, these are tangible assets that have no yield, so they're great when when the rates don't go up, when there's no interest on anything else, right? Mm-hmm. So it preserves your wealth. Mm-hmm. So I figured IAG or the gold miner would be a very good idea to swing. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for that logic, the morning after I had to sell at a gain of like 1 or 2 cents, so it was literally pointless. I made $5. So it was so bad.
Wow.
And the reasoning behind that to get out early in the morning was I figured that since even though gold was high, this company still has issues with their mining, I believe in Africa, because as a gold miner, you'd have to take account for labor costs, fuel costs, equipment costs, and that just dig down into your overall profits on even if you're selling gold. Mm-hmm. And then today was particularly interesting because we had a lot of earning winners.
Okay.
And since I was doing a lot of swing trading, I had 3 trades up. So I was locked in PDT, and I only had I only paper traded Evoke. Evoke, surprisingly or not, paper trade was very very good.
I think that's EVOK, right?
Yeah, EVOK. Mm-hmm. Even though it's a paper trade, I still trade regardless because I trade every day, and even though it's paper, you just still gotta keep up on your game and make sure you're practicing every day, all right? So I encourage everybody, even if your money is not online, paper trade. So you're sharp and you don't lose it. So on the EVOK today, I traded it in the morning, roughly before it broke out above, say, $3.
Okay.
Trading it roughly underneath it. So if I bring up my chart real quick, I was playing around 285, and once it broke 323, 327 is where I sold it because I identified a couple patterns that were in the Evo chart today. For a couple ascending triangles, a couple cup and handles. This was a great chart for TradingView. With all the standard indicator MACDs and RSIs. If anybody were to paper trade this particular ticker, it's really great practice.
Okay. Now, Jay, if I can ask you, what was it about the stock that brought it to your attention? Was it a screen, or what brought it to your attention for it to become a play for you?
Early this morning, I noticed that the relative volume is incredible because if when I did my screen, I usually screen for relative volume. Everybody always screens, what is the top gainers of the day? What is the top losers of the day? You know what I mean? What has the most volume? But sometimes you gotta, switch it around a little bit. What's being traded really frequently? And I noticed that relative volume-wise, Evoke was trading 68 times over its average, and has a very, very low float. Only 4 million floating shares. So it's all right. It's a drug company. So I knew that this was going to be a purely technical trade this morning. There's going to be limited catalysts or none, but I did a little bit of due diligence in the back, and I noticed that mid-July it did a significant gap down.
Okay.
And the reason for that was because their drug trial failed. You know, their drug or whatever they're trying to, you know, their product line just hit the dirt, and they're trying to sell it off because you know, they had poor results on phase 3 of whatever their drug is. And the drug is called EVK001. I have no idea what that drug is, but apparently it just did really poorly on phase 3. And there's only 4 phases. So when you get that far and your drug fails, you can expect something bad to happen. I think the gain today was just purely technical gains from people either shorting it some more or trying to buy it cheap, you know, hoping they come up with some new product.
Okay. So so you're basically saying today wasn't really a news-driven situation in the stock?
No, it was purely technical.
Oh wow. Okay.
Purely technical. So again, relative volume, technical aspect, because you're comparing average volume with the regular volume, and you know it's a short, has a small float. So when it trades really heavily over the float, because 4 million, right? It's really easy to exchange $12 million. You know, it trades around like 2.5, and 2 times 4 is 8, and now it's at $3. So it's like $8 to $12 million of float, right? That's how much the company is worth. And if the company flips over 68 times, it changes hands 68 times, and then you got some purely technical moves and speculation there.
Right.
So it's all about relative volume. I was looking up that earlier this morning.
So basically, with that said, then you're not expecting this to continue in that direction tomorrow, and you wouldn't advise that people in the chat room jump onto that right now.
No, actually, it's speculative. The ATR is $1. So tomorrow it could lose $1, it could gain $1. It's very, very speculative. It's hyper volatile, this thing. I would not be surprised if this gets halted. But if those guys in the chat really want to spend a day trade and scalp, say 5 to 15 cents, this would be the play if you want to scalp. You just got to make sure though that at open 9:30 in the morning, it trades over 500,000 shares. This morning was roughly the same. At open, it already traded one whole company. You know what I mean?
Right.
The company is really small. It just traded the whole company in
right.
shares.
In shares, right.
In the morning. So you can expect, like, you know, people are going to be looking at it. You can expect, 15, 30 minutes afterwards, people are still going to, be in and out of it, because this is going to be a game of hot potato, essentially. And the stock ticker I'm talking about is EVOK. Echo Victor Oscar Kilo. So this is very interesting. Tomorrow, I would not be surprised if people try to reserve shares to short and try to take it down 50 cents, or go long and maybe take it back up 50 cents, because this is very cheap. An all-time high on this stock is $11.
Oh wow!
So this is if someone's in for like a 2-year run on this, now is the time to buy. But I wouldn't buy just based on technicals.
Sure.
Obviously, look at the fundamentals and stuff.
Right.
But this is just one of those odd ones out there. My play for the night, actually, that did very well, was Amazon, and I could only afford 5 shares of Amazon. Unfortunately, Amazon was trading around $743 when I was looking at it, and this was like mid-afternoon, and they had earnings today. Obviously, we know now that earnings beat expectations by, I don't know, 70 cents. But throughout the day, I was like, should I trade Amazon or should I trade Google? Amazon or Google? Because they're roughly the size of a small account, one share wise, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And essentially, positive earning news, you could have the same movement in a penny stock with 700 shares, buying a $1 stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or have that same movement translated into one share of a blue chip, which is more stable. If you lose out, you can still hold it for another 2 weeks and gain it all back.
Yeah, gain it all back. Sometimes even, I mean, shorter than that, man. Not even 2 weeks. Some of these blue chips, they bounce back in days, just because some of their gains are, 68 cents and 70 cents. I mean, their gains are pretty big per day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, Amazon at the time made sense to me because their ATR is $11. So even if I lost $20 on, the earnings, I can wait a couple days and make back that $11, just by the average over days.
Yeah.
Their quarter-over-quarter growth is 20 to 25%.
Jeez.
So I would have no concern holding Amazon for a year. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And I'm only invested in for 5 shares. So I figured I'm going to play this earnings and see how it moves compared to penny stocks. So my 5 shares roughly equated to, do really math quickly.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who, swing Amazon. They play Amazon all day. Just, I mean, not necessarily, intraday trade, but every other day or every 2 days they're playing in and out of the same stock. I have read some people in forums say that's all they do. So
I mean,
you
kudos
can't do
to
that.
them.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But unlike these blue chips, they don't experience as much volatility as the penny stocks. You know what I mean? The penny stocks, you can jump 30 or 40%, whereas Amazon, on a really good day, 5%. Right. On a bad day, you're only getting like, a fraction of a percent.
That's true. That's true.
That's disappointing.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But Jay, you got to also think, if you've got 50 grand, 150 grand, that's quite a bit of money. 2%.
That does make sense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But my position, for me at least, is pretty large. But to others, it's small, right? But
sure.
To others, who playing the penny stocks, this is a huge position. It's close to $4,000, right? That's 3,000 shares of a $1 play, 3,500 shares, and one penny gain would be equivalent to $35, right? So I figured that maybe in Amazon, $10 or $10 times 5, that would be $50. Result from a good earnings report, and as such, it was a good decision playing Amazon, because I think now it's trading around 770 last I checked. Let me check. 768 in after hours. So I'm up roughly $18 a share.
Okay.
Not too bad.
So what's your play for tomorrow? What do you think a good stock that people in the room can go into tomorrow for either a jump tomorrow or a nice setup into next week?
All right. For tomorrow, if you're looking for something with safety, right, something that's predictable, it would be AMD, because this ticker has leveled out. What AMD has done now is it has channeled. You can expect what the higher resistances are going to be, and you can expect what the lower trending supports are going to be.
Right. The
higher ups are going to be roughly between $6.95, and the lower trend is going to be around $6.68 to $6.71. Right now it's channeling in between that,
Right.
around 680-ish, 82. So for those guys who want to play a quick, 25 cent per share on AMD, that's very likely. Very easy play to do. Get 100 shares or 200 shares. I mean, even then, that's still a huge position for a small account. But it's 25 cents per 100 shares. That's 20. Is that $25? Yeah, that's $25. So easy play if you can buy the dip on AMD at 660 and ride it up till 695. Some of you guys mentioned in chat that I had to do a little finagling with GSAT. Yes, I did. I originally had 1,400 shares of GSAT, and in order to buy my 5 shares of Amazon, I had to sell 100 shares of GSAT to raise the funds to make my 4.993 shares of Amazon equal to 5. So I was a little bit heartbroken there, liquidating my GSAT.
Yeah. I mean, other people in the chat room can say I was thinking really about liquidating, but now I'm actually up a penny, so it's not too bad. So we'll see what happens with that. So, and that's
GSAT now is bouncing at
yeah.
$1.19.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Again, earnings. It says here August 4th, but I'm getting other news reports saying it's going to be August 8th, which is the Monday after.
Okay.
Conflicting news reports. Not sure yet, but I'm still keen on August 4th. Hopefully we get some news before then.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm hoping that some good GSAT news comes in because, I know it's a legit company, and you need you need news to move, stocks like this. So, and I hope they deliver big with the news that they need to really, score big. So, we'll see.
Absolutely. One more thing I have to mention before I sign off. So someone mentioned, or you mentioned, might have, doing research on TD Ameritrade.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to advocate that TD Ameritrade is absolutely the best for doing analyst research. If you're looking for analyst buys or sells or recommendations, TD Ameritrade is the way to do it. You don't even have to fund their account.
Right.
You can just sign up for their account and use their services. Use their level 2s, use their research. And if that doesn't work, use a Canadian one. Canadian one's free too. And Robinhood, of course, commission-free trading.
Right.
You're not going to beat that.
Yeah, you can, and that's why he's saying that he had like $500. I'm thinking, yeah, dude, that's the way to go, man. Put it in Robinhood and just do all your research and TD. Perfect.
All right, because if you think about it, with E-Trade and TD, $10 in and out, you would have to move a $1 stock 20 cents to gain that back.
Yeah.
At a very low share position. You're going to have a very low multiplier. So it's unfortunate that these commissions are very, very high.
Yeah.
But the back end, they have resources. They have customer services.
Yeah.
They have lots of ways to do your research.
Sure.
But if you're ambitious enough, there's always ways to get around it and go for the cheaper brokerages like the stock trade and Robinhood, like you said.
Definitely. So appreciate it, Jay. Thank you for the call, man. Hey, if you can, Jay, if you can post that book up again.
Yes, I actually sent you an email. If you read your email.
Okay, you sent it to me in an email. Okay.
I'll post a link up again.
Yeah, because I had somebody email me and asking for it. So, if you can post that in the chat room, I appreciate it.
All right, you got it.
All right, Jay. Thank you for the call, man.
Anytime.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Jay calling in, giving us that good game as always. And this applause is for all the callers today. So shout out to all the callers today. got my little applause effect. SPU is just doing what SPU is doing. I mean, ripping people off. I mean, just delaying the inevitable. When we talk about SPU, delaying the inevitable. You know, everybody knows where SPU is going. They just, again, we talked about this earlier. I have no idea where the new momentum is coming from because, again, that's what kills pumps is that momentum dies. All right, buying dies. There are not enough new people to buy in. All right, and that's just kind of what happened. And I mean, actually, that's not what happened today. What happened today is that you had new money come in, but it is China, so I can only imagine how many people in China have access to U.S. markets to invest. Because as I've said in previous shows, they do have access to trade on our markets. I think Interactive Brokers allows you to trade stocks in China, but other than that, I don't know of any other broker that does that. And even those shares are really limited, you know. Can you trade during the night between 9 and 5? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You said if SPU dropped to $5, you're buying for 200 shares? Yeah, that would make sense to risk. I mean, if you're willing to risk. If you're willing to risk. If you're willing to risk. Yeah, Carol, I wish you can trade from 9 to 5. That'd be nice. I don't know anything about the CEO at MJNA, but we discussed MJNA today. Like I said, the election's coming up. I know TRTC is taking off because we had a caller in talk about how their earnings is next week. So MJNA, I have no idea when earnings are, but I do know that earnings might be a good thing to play for MJNA. If I'm correct, they made like over $20 million in 2015 last time I looked. So MJNA earnings might be a good thing for you to play. You know, MDGS. MDGS. That stock was not available on StockCharts.com, and I sent them an email, and they put it up. So that was really neat. I actually got the email saying because you can go to StockCharts.com and there's on the front page you can add certain tickers, like add a ticker, and they only really like NASDAQ plays or NYSE. They pretty much got all the NYSE, but there's some NASDAQ stocks and some Amex stocks they have not added. But MDGC, did some of the research on it, a few little technical things, and the Arun indicator has crossed the red line and is showing a buy signal on MDGS. And it's a pretty recent one. It just crossed it on the 25th. So really, well, actually 23rd if you really want to be technical with it. But the Arun indicator crossed the red, and it's at the top line, and that's a buy signal. I'm a big fan of the Arun indicator, and that's a strong buy signal for MDGS. Now whether it'll keep going, we'll see. But the indicator says buy. And inside this tight trend here, that makes kind of sense because it's found some footing. It's getting light again, which is kind of scary. It's getting a little light on the volume, but look what happened previously. That light volume exploded once there was some news. So, you know, well, I don't know anything about their CEO, man. For MJNA, I don't know anything about them. Their CNO. I mean the CEO. But MJNA is a legit company, though. They actually do sell a lot of products in relation to the cannabis industry. They're a major player, just like TRTC. Remember, there's no publicly traded company selling marijuana, so all these publicly traded companies are in the business of cannabis, whether it be, the pots, the pottery, where the plants grow in, the filters, packaging. I mean, the vapors, whatever it is, they're all in the business of cannabis. And MJNA and TRTC are the biggest players. You said PTX is gonna run. I mean, let's see, man. PTX has got to do something because we've been talking about PTX for. I mean, come on, man. That's got to do something. That 55 to 58 on Wednesday, that was a nice little gap up. But I mean, you would be lying to yourself if you didn't think it was going to do a lot more than that. As cheap as it should be moving a lot better than that. And earlier this month, PTX was really moving. If you look at the earlier this month, July PTX chart, that stock was really moving. So, you said I switched to dial up? Is it slow? Is it slow? The stream looks fine. Yeah, PTX hasn't done shit. You know? I would stay away from AVXL, man. I would stay away from AVXL. AVXL is that stock that, what's his name, is going around on the internet. The bad boy of pharmacy. He's tweeting that the stock sucks. He's going around tweeting Martin Shkreli. Martin Shkreli is tweeting that AVXL is a joke. Search his tweets. Because I looked at it, I was like, man, why is this stock, crashing like this? And besides whatever news came out, Martin Shkreli had sent out a couple tweets and said on his show, because he's got a live stream, that AVXL has worthless products. You know? Where is it at now? 350s? Okay. I mean, if you're a bargain at these prices, it might be worth it for you. What's going on, Jerry Williams? It might be worth it for you though at these prices. I mean, I just took a look at the chart. That's a big ass discount, man. That's a big ass discount. The drug showed no differences in patient. Oh man, that's horrible news. That's horrible news. That's like Gale. Somebody already typed that up there. That's like Gale news. And he's already talking about going deep in Gale. I wouldn't touch Gale at all right now, man. I mean, what's What's the upside, dude? In Gale right now, what's the upside? So, I mean, but at the same time, Mr. Lloyd and his INNV was a very similar company, trading at 25 cents a share. People thought it was a joke. It's not going anywhere. It's dead. And look at INNV. Got back on their feet, and now everybody's excited about an FDA announcement that's forthcoming. And the stock is took off. You're up 50%. You're up 100%, excuse me. You're up 100% on your money on INNV. And he mentioned he got into the stock at 22, 21 cents. He got into the stock at like 21 cents. And this was only beginning of this month. It's only been, when was it, when did it see those prices? January 11th. January 11th. So we're only talking 17 days ago. He's doubled his money. Yeah, David K. I like the stock, and like I said, it's a nice little running play, and I'm patient with it. Um, when it declined and stuff like that, you had people send me emails and whatever. I was like, if you want to get out, bro. It's your money. Get out if you don't want it. But the stock is at a price now where I'm very comfortable sitting where it is, because if it declines, people snatch those cheap shares up. They know what's out there. A gold company with 500 employees, 30 semis, 4 gold projects. I mean, it's not a joke. They're doing something over there. It's just got to get recognized, and when it does, take off. Singer Sparks, welcome. Yeah, Miami. Yep, Miami area code. All right, that's kind of weird. Uh, Singer Sparks. You know what? You brought no thing to the discussion, so you're out of here. Get out of here. Barry Parker. Around earnings, people trip. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Barry. That is very true. Let me see a little lower here. That's very true. People do have a tendency to act a little crazy um, during earnings. And that's why we talked earlier today about Ford, and you look at some of these other stocks that are down huge. Those are some opportunities that you can jump into and ride back up. There's a stock that I really like right now, just slightly outside of the penny stock range. Um, Let me see here. And I really, really like this stock a lot. I took a position, and I haven't memorized the damn FSS. There we go. FSS. FSS, Federal Signal. Every time the stock drops, every single time the stock drops, Federal Signal picks itself back up. Every time the stock drops, the stock picks itself back up within typically less than 17 days or so in FSS. Goldman Sachs has a significant position in the company, over 3.5 million shares. So that was very interesting. The business has been there since 1901, very stable. And the huge drop they did today on earnings, I was all over it. I had to get all over it, man. And so I jumped all over that one to work its way back up. On ticker symbol FSS. I don't know what's going on with that. You say it's buffering? I mean, I got people complaining about its buffering. I'm not seeing no issues over here. YouTube saying stream is green. I got a green light stream, so that means it's actually doing good. So, I mean, I don't know if it's your internet, man. Check your internet, bro. It's saying it's good to go over here. All right. All right. Stock earning. Let me see here. T Stout. I can't tell you where it's going, but I know it's going back up to where it was. When you look at FSS, I mean, just look at the chart. Every single dip, people come in and buy it back up. So that was one of those situations where I just had to jump in for a ride. And honestly, I like that stock. I love these 2 week, 3 week kind of rides because that's where you can make some really good money. And I like those rides. I like those rides. You know, Washband National Corp. See, yeah, it's already up huge. I don't like that. I'm not chasing. I don't like chasing gains. I want to be on a dip. I want to get a price in at a cheap price, and I know the stock is worth more. I don't want to jump on a stock that's up 30%. I don't know. You're not going to pad your gains with my money. I'm not letting that happen. I'm not going to let you pad your gains with my money. And that's what happens when you know, you buy into these stocks that are up 30, 40, 50%. All you are is, I mean, you're just the oil for other people's profits. You know what I'm saying? That's all you are. It's an old, boring company, frat. I mean, it's just an old, boring company. But I like it. It's good enough for me. 300,000 shares is good enough for me. So I'm cool with it. You know, average 10-day volume is about 155,000. You know, it's a quiet company that's cash rich, got a lot of money, pays dividends. I like it. What's up, stock fellas? What's up? Yeah, I mean, that's why I said I mean, play your play by all means. Play your play. That's my new thing now. Play your play. But I'm gonna play my play, and I like that stock. I like PayPal at these prices. I think PayPal is way too cheap right now. After their situation with that stock, PayPal's way is much more expensive. Yes, it's actually much more expensive in the 30s. But I think PayPal, after that $3 price, discount from last Friday, I think if you're somebody again buy and hold situation, you're willing to wait a little bit. I think that might be for you too. But I like FSS because it's a quiet, cash-rich company that does its thing. 704.
Hey, Sal, what's up, man?
What's going on with you, bro?
It's Jerry Williams.
Jerry, what's going on? I knew it was a Charlotte number. I wasn't sure if it was you because you hadn't called in a minute.
Yeah. Man, that CTBO, man, it went down, man. It's at $2. It's at $2.
Yeah, that's yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yep. that's just a perfect example, man, of of researching.
Mm,
I think the other day we had mentioned, or you had mentioned, that someone had said that you don't have to do any fundamental research as far as researching companies and stuff like that.
yeah.
And man, I mean, man, $2. I think it's gonna, like I said before, and like you said before, it's gonna be like a $1.80. I know it is. I
Right.
know it is because they're getting slammed.
Oh yeah, I mean, and interactive brokers, I've been calling them practically every day. Barely have anything to short on it. I mean,
Wow.
somebody was saying 10. I got a call one time where it's like, oh yeah, well, all we got is 10 shares. I was like, why even bother? Why even bother? So they're all over it, and CTBO is crashing. And I already made a video about it. Everybody knows it's a worthless company, man. There's nothing there. They're signing a whole bunch of fake agreements that any company can sign with any university. Yeah, we're partnering to do this and do that. Universities buy those. I mean, you can literally buy an agreement from a university. So CTBO is a scam. It's all
Hmm.
it's been a scam since the beginning. And you just look at the chart and see for yourself. It's a very low volume. Was dying. The volume is practically dying because you've got people who are you're just hoping to God that something's going to change, and nothing's going to change. It's a worthless company, and it's going to keep going down in value. And unless they maybe decide to, pay another promoter or do something different, otherwise it's just going to keep crashing down. So,
Right, right.
yeah.
So, like I was saying, party people, um, do your due diligence research. It's definitely great to listen to you, Sal. It's definitely great. It's definitely great for other people to listen. But read those 10Ks, people. You gotta read those 10Ks. I'm telling you, and the 10Qs and stuff like that. It's gonna give you the real outline of the company. And like Sal was saying about those papers that come from universities that companies could pay for. I mean, I mean, it's the 10Qs and the 10Ks. They're not really that hard to read. I think it's intimidating by some people that the wording of some of the 10Ks and 10Qs, but most of it is easy. I mean, it's real easy, and that most of the companies are telling you, hey, we're going to lose money on this. We don't think it's going to our bottom line is not going to come out with this, or the assets or our liabilities are going to start growing a little bit. And I mean, it's funny. Some of these 10Ks and 10Qs are funny compared to what they send you in the mail. So like I said, party people, you gotta realize the things that they send you in the mail. New people that's getting into stocks, penny stocks, mid cap stocks, large cap stocks. They're gonna start sending you stuff in the mail. That's gonna be a lot of fluff. You gotta read into the company.
Yeah.
You can call the company and ask them different questions, just like you said before. And I got one more thing to ask you too, Sal. I
Okay.
left you a message yesterday. I know you was off yesterday, and I left you a
Mm,
message about a couple of people thinking about the $500 challenge,
okay.
but they really wanted to get it, but they were thinking about about the timing.
Sure.
So I'm gonna hang up, and you can tell me what's gonna if you listened to the message yesterday,
Okay.
and let me know. Okay.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Peace.
Yep. All right. So yeah, yeah. Thanks, Jerry, for the call. The $500 thing. Yeah, I'm gonna give people a little bit more time. I'll give you guys a little bit more time. Because I got some emails about that too, where you just had some people like, I'm not ready. I really want to participate, but I'm not ready. That's why I was talking about it a couple days ago. So we can bump it back a little bit, maybe like the 15th or something like that. That should be enough time. But I would really love to do it. Just something that we can kind of see how everybody trades and stuff like that. Going to be probably a little bit boring for me just because I don't move like that. But just to see how people are doing, man. I think it'll be fun and just to have a little contest, get people engaged and stuff like that. So, but I would love to do that. So hopefully, by then you guys will be ready to go, and everybody would have a good time at that. All right, cool, cool. But yeah, Jay, if you want to talk about that Zika thing, man, I'm all for it. If you want to talk about Zika, I know you mentioned that in the chat room that you forgot to talk about it. But yeah, going back to what Jerry was talking about, CTBO is a scam. This is a company that 2 weeks ago was worth almost $100 million, had no revenues, no research, nothing, and had $100 million valuation. And sure enough, the company, the founders cashed in all their stocks, right? That's why it's going down, because they're cashing in everything they can, selling it to any sucker they can find, and the stock is going down. So, and they're going to walk away with millions if they haven't already. No, I'm not in any real estate investment trust. No. Real estate investment trusts, I know they're cash rich corporations that pay really good dividends, but I just, I don't know. I just, as an investment vehicle, I mean, I haven't found a trust that really runs like that. I mean, where I can get not only, you know, but can I get some like capital appreciation on the investment, Ken? I haven't found one. Maybe if you can tell me about one. $5 to $6 million loss, INNV. That's fine. Yeah, Tony, it's just a challenge that we were looking to do. SPHS, terrible loss the other day, but the stock kind of found its legs. SPHS, it found its legs though. It found its legs. That was kind of scary though. Wasn't that decline kind of scary? I mean, it was a huge intraday rush, and then I think people just got scared. Nobody wanted to be a bag holder on Tuesday, and everybody just got the hell up out of there. Everybody just got the hell up out of there on Tuesday toward the end of the day, and it's found some legs. So SPHS, but I mean, I'm hoping that some of you guys who are in the stock, because we have been talking about that quite a bit, I hope some of you guys got out at $8. I hope some of you guys got out of there at $8. Okay, Tony Johnson, you say they don't run. Okay, yeah, I figured that. I mean, when I see one, they basically, you check on it like a year later, it's at the same damn price. But I know they pay off, yep, solid dividends, and if you pay into them, uh, you can get a really nice check. Say you just want to live off dividends, okay. But Ken, I mean, you can live off dividends and get capital appreciation too. I mean, uh, I understand real estate investment trusts are very good and safe, but there's some great blue chips out here that you're going to be able to get dividends and you can get capital appreciation. I mean, look at Ford Motor Company. Look at Ford Motor Company. Look at um, practically any of these energy companies out here. Find some of these good energy companies, or a stock like PayPal, or I mean, there are a lot of good blue chip companies that you can buy, and you're going to get capital appreciation, and you're going to get the dividends, and you're going to get income, man. You know, I'll put up a company like Coke. I'll put up a company like Coke next to any real estate investment trust. You know, I know that stock Coke has outlived buildings. If your grandpa had put in $5,000, $10,000 in Coke stock, you won't be in this chat room. You won't be in this chat room, man. Let's keep it 100. And I don't think he could say that you could say the same thing if it was a real estate investment trust. So when I'm talking about not just building dividends for myself, but capital appreciation that I can pass on to a family member, right? Because again, we're trying to build legacies not for just ourselves, but for the future. I don't want to put it in a real estate investment trust. I want to put it in a business that's going to stand the test of time. So we can get that check and we can get wealth. Anyway, Cincinnati Bell just waiting for earnings now, man. I mean, the price is pretty much settled, and the price is settled, and now it's just about earnings. Looking at the chart, I see investors are a little bit worried, and so nobody's buying more, nobody's selling either. So Cincinnati Bell, CBB, and again, Cincinnati Bell is just that's lunch meat for, I'm hoping, a company like a Verizon or something like that. It's an old phone company that's an internet provider now. So I'm hoping somebody jumps in and saves that or buys it. 772, what's up?
What's happening, Sal? This is your treasure hunter again.
Treasure Hunter, what's good, man?
I don't know much. I sitting back thinking about what you said. You got me like laughing my ass off about your style of trading is boring. Now, what will it take to convert you over to the fast life, like my style of trading? Now, I don't, I'm not trying to dig in your pockets, whatever. But let's suppose you like, chilling at the house, and you wanna, how can I say, like in my neck of the woods, want to buy something like badass for your truck or something.
Right.
Would you want to make a quick 100, a quick 50, real quick, versus your salad trading? Other people salad trading wait months and weeks and all that crap.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, of course. I mean, I would love to do what people like Tim Sykes and you do and those things like that, but that's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. I'm not very good at chasing. I'm not very good at pulling up screens very quickly. I don't do that. But what I can do is I can read 10Ks and 10Qs and stuff like that, and look at things
Look,
within the chart that can say, okay, I think in 14 days or in 30 days or in 2 months, I think the stock is
oh,
going to
okay,
be
I feel
here.
you.
You see
I
what I'm
feel you.
saying? And
Yeah, the long term, long term.
right, right. And it's not,
Yeah.
and honestly, when you talk to traders, they
Mhm.
won't tell you that, 30 days is not really long like that. I mean, I understand that
What? Not long.
you may think that it's long as hell, but that's
30 seconds is long to me.
right,
Like, what?
right. You see what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah,
not, but
I
that's
feel you.
how I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I, I try to, find a momentum where the cash is.
Yeah.
I might stay in maybe 3 weeks, maybe if that, and then I'm out.
Okay.
But I see this going to take some time to convert you over to another style of trading. I'm not trying to throw you off on your game, but just try to give you the feeling of different styles of trading. Real quick in the long term and midterm.
Yeah.
Because I did it all in that long term, bro. It was just killing me because like I'm doing this for a living,
Right.
and depending on months, that shit was killing me. I needed the cash ace out
Right.
quick.
Right. I hear
But
you.
just try to convert you over a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I feel you, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm the type of person, like, if something works for me, I'm sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? So,
I feel you.
and I can't be somebody else that I'm not, man. I'm a realist when it comes to, especially when it comes to my money, man. If I can't do
Yeah.
it, I can't do it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Taking a chance on something new.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what then. Paper paper trail it.
Yeah, I
With
mean,
big
yeah,
money.
yeah. It's something
At the
I've done
fast life real
before.
quick.
Yeah, it's something I've done before. It's just hard to. I think U stock trade has a live paper trade thing, but if most paper trade, they're like delayed 20 minutes. So sniping on those doesn't really make sense because it's delayed quotes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
It really doesn't make sense to do. So when people are paper trading, it actually works better if you're somebody who like holds for 2 or 3 days because the quotes aren't necessarily live like that, but at the same time you still be able to create. So yeah, I mean I get what you're saying though. I mean I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, because because it took me a while to try to find out my style of trading,
Mm,
and because me, I was in and out so quick. The E Trade, freaking sorry to mention that like that, but
mm,
the fees was killing me,
mm,
and I went on your show, cried like a little bitch. Hey, why? The fees are killing me, and
mm,
your peeps stepped up and saved my ass about these free trading fees.
yeah.
I didn't even know it was such a thing.
Mm,
Now, I can actually make a living doing this.
yeah, yeah.
Small lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you go with those like you stock trade, $1 in, $1 out. Yeah, I mean, I could see, like I said, we got people out there who are doing exactly that. I mean, they're doing, their research on a platform like TD, and then you trade on you stock trade. So,
Yeah.
whatever works for you, man. I mean, it's your money. Whatever's going to work for you, you figure it out. Hey, that's how I make my money, and stick to it.
Yeah, it was a while. I mean, like I said, I'm watching your show, bro. It's very, very educational. And if anybody out there who really want to get paid, all they gotta do is sit back and relax and really pay attention to your show
Yeah,
and know how different people or different traders trade, and they'll find a niche and start getting paid.
right.
Like I said, bro, definitely, appreciate your show out there. And like you said before, if God's willing to have, to have your show keep going, which I wouldn't think you have would be a hard thing to do.
Right.
If you have any problems, just yell out there to us, and we, come up with ideas, and you know how we do. We keep each other going.
Yeah, appreciate
In
it,
your
man.
chat room we got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No
Thank you,
problem.
man. Appreciate it, man.
You got it, brother.
All
Yep.
right. Yeah, shout out to Treasure Hunter, man. That's the guy right there that's been here from the beginning too, like a lot of people in the chat room. Yeah, that brother's been here for a minute. So yeah, he was here when it was like 20 people in the room. When it was like 20 people. So yeah, man. Guys, look, it's your money. You don't want to be anybody else. I came to a conclusion a long time ago that I wasn't going to be Tim Sykes. As much as I like Tim Sykes, as much as that whole like, man, look everybody, I just made $5,000 in 7 minutes. Like I can't, man. Like one, I just it bothers the shit out of me watching the ticker like that, man. Some of you guys love doing it. I just cannot stand that. Some of you guys love that, you know? But I love the 20-day chart. I love those 10-day charts. Those, yeah, Zero, you were in here too. I love those 7-day charts. I love those charts, man. You know, I want to see what it's going to do over 3, 4, 5 days, man. Over a week and a half. I love that. Looking at it day to day, panicking by the minute, panicking every 30 minutes. That's I can't live like that. I don't know how you guys do it. I can't live like that, man. You know? Pretty D, you're saying what stock for tomorrow? You tell me, man. You tell me. You tell me. Do you get my email? I'm trying to figure out if this MoneyGram earnings release for tomorrow is true. I don't believe it. Another great stock for trading information is called stockearning.com. Let me put it in the chat room. They do have a paid version, but you can just put in your ticker or your company that you're interested in. Mostly Nasdaq. I don't think they have any OTC plays. I don't think so. So mostly Nasdaq, and they basically track the earnings of the company. So it's a really good thing if you're looking for earnings. They do use TradingView. So Jay, I know you'll like that. And Jay, by the way, uh, I'm going to be going on TradingView. Like I'm actually going to be like really using it. I'm going for the gosh, what's the like the upgrade or whatever, where I actually get the live charts. Because I'm going to try it out because they got the free trial that they're doing right now. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, so shout out to stockearning.com. Stocksearning.com. They got a nice little breakdown in what the stock has done the next day on earnings. So very interesting, man. Very interesting. You know, it's a really good. Oh, appreciate it, David. Appreciate it. So I mean, go to stocksearning.com. Type in any stock that trades on the Nasdaq or the NYSE. So right now, PayPal, right? And they report what is done since last earnings. They have a comparison charts to estimated earnings and actual. They actually track what, again, like I said, the historical volatility. Really nice little, And again, you get more if you pay for it, but you don't really need all that information. But it's a nice little insight to it. Not a problem, Rogue. Nice little website. And you can see they're bringing it together. It's a new site. It's a new site, so they're still getting it together, but it's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice little site. Stocksearning.com. It just started this year, and it's coming together pretty nicely. Coming together pretty nice. All right, so Jay put Estimize in the chat room. All right, so yeah, very similar. They're giving you earnings ideas. Search the company. Let me see what they're saying about Sprint. Yeah, so it's giving you ideas of what guidance is, and all right, but this one's a lot more limited. They really want you to pay for it. Cause I put in Sprint, they didn't give me crap. But go ahead and pay to upgrade it. 773, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, Sal? This is Mo from Soccer Fellas calling to see what's up with you. How you doing?
Doing
I don't know if
good.
you remember me. Remember me from a couple months ago when you first initially brought up CETX?
Yes, yes.
Man, dude, I'm telling you, I've been taking that for a ride ever since, and it's a company that's been able to help my account by a fold and actually get me to the point that I am at today. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you. You're doing a great job. We as Soccer Fellas really appreciate what you do. We follow you all the time. We actually are doing our own little thing here in Chicago, and we always shout you out on our YouTube channel also. Maybe one day when you ain't got nothing to do, you could fly through and, just hit a like button on a video or something. We're always shooting you out, always giving you mad love here at Soccer Fellas, dude. Just want to say you're doing a great job and keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I do remember seeing you in the chat room way at the beginning, man. So I know you get busy doing your own thing too, but appreciate it, man. And I really appreciate those kind words, dude.
Hey, Sal, no matter how far we go, we always want to make sure that we're right behind you, watching what you're doing. You give out great information. You're on your P's and Q's, and we learn so much from you, dude. We owe you so much. Maybe one day we'll see each other in Hawaii and
Yes.
happen to be on the same beach or something while we're
Hey,
trading.
that's the goal, man. I mean, like I said, one of my favorites, rappers was saying he doesn't do this to drive a Toyota or something. I forgot what the line goes, but yeah, I mean, I'm doing this to become wealthy, man. So and to do things like that where we can get on a plane and just hop on and go somewhere. And for most of us in the in the chat room, that might not be something we can do right now because we've got jobs, we've got obligations, but that's why we're here talking about these things that make us money so we can accomplish those things. Yeah, man.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Sal. And you know what? It's true, man. You're very inspiring, bro. And we love the whole idea. You know, I'm only a few months into trading. I want to give also a shout out to Tony from Soccer Fellas. He's on top of you. Like I'm talking about crazy. We're always following. We're always watching. Sometimes we don't get to write in the comments in the chat because we're actually at work while we're watching you. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So we still try to make time for you. Everyone in the chat room, shout out from Soccer Fellas. We love you guys. There's a lot of great ideas and a lot of great minds in this chat room. We appreciate everyone, and we hope this can continue until we don't have to do anything anymore but sleep on our money.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call, bro.
No problems, dude. Have a good one, and we'll stay tuned for the rest of the night, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Shout out to that guy. He was here also too. One of those guys. He was one of the. Shout out to him, man. He was one of the first 22. He was one of the first 20 to be in here. So shout out to him, man. Stockfellas, drop me up a email. I'll probably find you on YouTube if I probably just type in your thing. Barry Parker, you said subscribers. It kind of does. It fluctuates. I mean, I'm not. I don't trip on it. It fluctuates. So it fluctuates. It's no big deal. Yeah, Tony. Zinc is going down. Zinc is going down. So I said that zinc. If you look at the chart for zinc, support is at 30 cents. So I'm gonna let it ride down, man. I'm gonna let it ride down. Thank you, Marsha. Marsha was asking for if I had the link to how to make millions. Man, with the whole changes to it feels like you how to make millions. I know I had the link to how to make millions. I don't know if let me see. If anybody still has that link to how to make millions, I know I had it, but I can't. I have so many damn links from over the years. Um, Marshall, you might have to email me at happypennystocks@gmail.com. Sometimes you can Google it real quick and it comes up. Tim Sykes, how to make millions, DV torrent. Yeah, there's the really abbreviated one. There's an abbreviated version, but you don't want that one. You want the one that's the 13 DVDs, 13 files that you have to download. That's the one you want. There are a couple of them. There's one where it's an abbreviated version, and then there's one where it's 13 separate movies that you've got to download. And that's the one you want. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. Got the email. Yeah, I'll definitely check you guys out. But yeah, I know the torrent is on there. It's on here somewhere. And I know I've posted it in the chat room before. Because the full how to make millions is like 30 gigs. It's big. It's like 30 gigs. Uh, and I'd have to find it. I'd have to find it. Yeah, and there's a version on Pirate Bay, but like I said, that one is only like 2 gigs, and it's very abbreviated. It's very abbreviated. And you probably already have most of the other bookmarks I have. I think everybody got that technical analysis for dummies book that I posted yesterday. Everybody should already have that one. There's also one. Um, no, that one's. I don't know if this one's good. Trade your way to financial freedom using technical analysis strategies. Create a steady flow of money each week. I haven't personally watched this one, but I did download it. That one's I downloaded, but I haven't watched it. I downloaded that one yesterday. I didn't even watch it yet. So you guys can have it that one. Some of you might have it already. I don't know. You might have it already. I'd be downloading some stuff twice and don't even realize it until I open up the video. What's going on, Quest for Knowledge? ETRM. No, I did not talk about ETRM. ETRM. Entromedics. Don't know anything about it. 22 cents a share. Is this an OTC play? No. NASDAQ? Entromedics. Interesting. Very interesting. You said you're going to play it long term? What do you like about it, man? I mean, you're going to play it long term, 22 cents? All right. Yeah, that might be another INNV. That might be another INNV. My only fear about the company is that they don't have any earnings, man. They don't make any money. They don't even really make any revenue to begin with. And to have earnings, you got to have revenue. The company doesn't have any revenue. So where's the money going to come from? Um, Entromedics delivered by pacemaker-like device called the Maestro rechargeable system. First-in-class weight loss treatment for obesity and obesity-related risk factors. So is this all right? So over 600 patients have been implanted with the Maestro system. Okay, cool. So they're still okay. So they're actually still going through the process then. It said it could hit $7. Who said it's going to hit $7? It's a 22-cent stock. Let me look at the financials real quick. Okay, so I mean, it's doing research. You know, they're doing research basically on their product and stuff. All right, so I mean, it's it's a company that's they're doing research on their product. You know, they don't have any revenues, they don't have anything real going on. So yeah, that's definitely a stock that you'd want to sit on. It's at a price where you can sit on it. So it's a developer, a manufacturer of devices that use neural blocking technology to treat obesity. Yeah, not my thing, man. 'Cause I don't know how long this could take. And they were recently downgraded by Roth Capital. They went from buy to neutral, and Roth Capital is not, they're not Goldman Sachs, but they're not third grade either. So I know they actually looked into what they got going on over there. You know, Roth Capital is a they're a full grade investment company. They're out there in the West Coast because they do a lot of like apps and you know a lot of I don't want to say new age, but that new stuff, venture capital. They're venture capitalists too, and if they've taken a look and downgraded it, then I think you need to really pay attention to that. And that was recent. That was just in June where they downgraded it. Yeah, but at that price, yeah, pretty D, you're right, man. At that price, it doesn't hurt. As long as it doesn't drop another 50% on you. RSYS. My thing is, man, why put 22 cents in that when just pay a little bit more and start getting some money now? I mean, the returns that you're waiting on for this stock, go get something that's nice, that's, making money, that might be down a little bit and ride it way up. By the time that actually does what you expect it to do, you're saying a year's time, you could make a whole lot more money in a year with some other plays instead of waiting for that. When we look at RSYS, Ratus, 478. Okay, so it's back up at support. There's a concept, and Jay probably can talk a little bit about it. When they talk about um, support, eventually becomes, or sometimes when a stock is going down, support will become resistance. And when I look at the 14-day chart in RSYS, I see a little bit of that, where that 480 level, and it's cracked it a couple times. Now it's kind of having trouble maintaining that price. You're seeing lower highs. Maybe what's the catalyst there? Is there something happening soon? Earnings possibly? So you're in at 20 cents. Yeah, I'm gonna take Rogue. What Rogue said on that one. But yeah, now on RSYS, now 5 is an issue. It's having trouble holding 5. And again, it was just the last 2 days, so it might be a simple thing where you just have some big investors just trying to get on. So let's see if it's a new trend or you know this is something that you should be concerned about. You say you bought it at 506. Now let me ask you, what was it about it at 506 that was interesting to you? Because if I look at the chart, I wouldn't have seen it as at a discount at 506, especially if the same day you could have got it at 460. Don't you like? Wouldn't you have looked at the stock and been like, you know what? Let me see if I could get another opportunity to get it cheaper. Like if a stock is down one day, like intraday it was down hard, and now it's back up, I always look at it and see, let me see if I can get an opportunity to get it close to that low again. Because that low represents support, right? The low of the day represents support. So if it runs up from the low, I'm thinking if I'm going to be holding it for a while, I want to get back to as close to it, that low as possible. I mean, am I wrong, or because I want to know what other people feel about it. I feel like that's the way to do it. You know? Let's see what you guys got to say about it. Cannabis and tampons. What? Cannabis and tampons? 772, what's up?
I said, damn, I guess I called it the wrong time, huh?
No, go ahead, man. What's good?
But no, Sal, you 100% right, my man. That's another little part of my secret. What I do, exactly what you said. You called it. I will wait for the lowest part of resistance, and you know what I'm saying. And then, like I said, I put big orders in, and then the lowest part of resistance, and then when it goes back up to the regular price. What it is ching, 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 money in the bank, baby.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
basically what you're saying is that you try to time the low of the day and you try to buy it at the low.
What? Hell yeah. Do not buy high. That's one of the rookie mistakes I made when I first started.
Okay.
Yeah, you buy high, and then, well, hell, and then it might not never go that high, and then you're screwed. And then if it goes down, and then you got to, sell it for a loss,
Sure.
I've done that several times.
Right. Yeah. No,
You know,
I feel you. I feel you on that, man.
yeah, and that's like another thing. Part one of the videos he made, and another part of E Trade was raping me because it's like when you don't make a win, you got to pay that entrance fee, getting in and getting out, and on top of not making no cash, and that's
Right.
even worse.
Right. I feel you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, anytime, brother, you got it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, buy high and sell higher. See, but here's the thing, though, Jay. If that's the philosophy you're taking, he lost on this trade. He lost on this trade. If you feel that, if I'm going into an intraday trade, right? Opens up at 550. For example, opens up at 550. The low of the day is 515, right? It's 1 o'clock. So now we're at 535, right? Now, yes, it might go up. It might go up. We're at 535. We open at 550. The low is 515. But I'm looking at the chart and I'm thinking I want to get as close to 515 as I can because that tells me that's where the market feels is too low. So that's a deal. I'm not going to buy at 538, 540, 545. I want a discount. I want a discount. So if I'm lost, please let me know because if there's another way to do it, please let me know. That's true. That's true. Jay said he could talk about that all day. I mean, but Jake, I mean, call up and explain like your the way you do it, man. I mean, you know, but I understand your buy high, sell higher idea, but that would be on a better quality stock, right? I mean, I wouldn't do that to something like this. I wouldn't buy higher, sell higher on a stock like this. CTEX? You mean CETX, man? CETX is on there. Quest for Knowledge is CETX. Kevin, yeah, FAC, Kevin. Thank you for talking about that FAC stock, Kevin, because I wrote about that stock last week on my website, freestockpicks.org, and I was asking people to wait for better plays. But that's a stock, FAC. I've told people watch FAC. It's a cheap stock that can be worth $4 or $5. 702, what's up?
Sal, Jay.
What's up, man?
Let me pull up my chart.
Yeah.
RSYS is the ticker.
Yeah, RSYS.
Time frame we're looking at is today or yesterday.
The time frame is today and yesterday, so basically the last 3 days or so.
Okay, we can play that.
Yeah.
So, what was his entry price?
He said he got in. Let me look in the chat room. Bought in before earnings at 506. Earnings came out. He rode the high up to 517 after the dip, and then basically he's still holding, and now we're at 478.
So we're at 478. He bought in at the high at what?
He bought in. He had to buy in on Tuesday at 502.
502. Tuesday. Let me check. Is that the 25th?
26.
No, that's a Monday. 26.
Yeah, 26.
Okay. Well, let me ask him this, though. The first question is, before you even buy into anything, you have to have a plan. You have to have a risk-reward ratio set out in your mind before you even trade. Because at the point of no return is when you're going to be bag holding it for day after day, hoping to swing trade and praying that it comes back. And when you are in a trade, you don't want to pray and hope, because eventually your trade using just pray and hope becomes not a trade anymore. It becomes an investment. You know? So the first thing you should even think about before you enter any trade is to determine risk-reward ratio. You know, how much is he willing to sacrifice, and how much, for that sacrifice, how much potential is there to gain? So if you bought at 502, right, one thing I would consider looking at is the technical aspects of it, is the beta and the ATR. Beta is 1.55 and ATR is 27 cents over a 14-day period. So, okay, it can fluctuate between, a quarter. So if he was considering 502, his very low point of a stop loss should be, maybe 10 cents if he was playing conservative, or if he really wants to go balls out and balls deep, set it as an ATR of a quarter. So at right now, he would be triggering his stop loss at 478, because that's the maximum amount of risk for his risk-reward ratio. And on the flip side, if his reward ratio is 1-to-1, that means his 502, he should be capitalizing at, $5.20, $5.25, $5.27 is where he should be taking the money out. But obviously, setting these risk-reward ratios, these numbers are just arbitrary. So you got to look at the chart and see where in the chart does your risk-reward ratio matches the chart patterns for supports or resistances. Make your risk-reward ratio fit the resistances and support patterns in the chart.
Right.
And then you get the kind of good idea. Oh, okay, my risk reward ratio right now is 1-to-1, but it could be better. I would prefer to be closer to 2, because I could potentially make double of my potential risk. So at that point, he should be really be considering, okay, my risk reward ratio, if it's going to be 1 or 1.5 or 2, I wouldn't want to be going in at 502 because I saw some lows at 496 in that day, right? So if you're going to see some lows, you better be playing that Bollinger Bands.
Boom.
And make sure that your Bollinger Bands are either at the moving average or buying it when it's at the very low of the standard deviations. Right now, what I have set up is I have Bollinger Bands at 2 standard deviations and 3 standard deviations. And the reason why I have that is when it's at 2 standard deviations, you know something's up. You know that volume is either coming in or out. When you're at 3 standard deviations, you shouldn't be chasing at all. It's lost. It's long gone. The rocket ship has left to the moon, and you're stranded. You shouldn't be chasing at all. And you should just watch it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But 502 on that Tuesday would be either, let's see, 3 in the afternoon, roughly between, let's say, 2 in the afternoon, or it would be, let's see, 11 in the morning.
Right.
So time frame is also a consideration. You don't ever want to enter a position between the hours of 11 and 2. That is the time when most people like to sell off, because 11 to 2 is like, oh, I'm selling off. Offload my position as a day trader so I can go eat some lunch without some stresses to worry about while you're eating lunch. The crappiest feeling is when you're at lunch eating a burger or something, and then suddenly like your whatever you're holding plummets like 30 points.
Right.
Then you're like, oh man, this burger becomes like a soggy burger. It's not worth eating anymore.
Right.
So that's what most day traders like to do, is to sell before lunch. So by the time it's around 11:30, you want to be really sure that it's not going to be volatile, after lunch. But it looks like it, went down before lunch.
Yeah.
So, it would make good sense to buy very low when it comes back up. But if it was trading lower Bollinger Bands and lower standard deviations, and it can't find support, why not just, let it ride and see how far south it could go before it finally finds that bounce? Mid-afternoon, around 12, it found that bounce around $4.96. That would be a considered entry point. But then again, you got to look at, the stochastics and RSI. That's, more indicators that would tell you, is this particular play overbought or oversold? So these are like some of the, stories that you have to play while thinking about the stocks you're going to play intraday. If it's oversold, why is it oversold? If it's oversold, you got to think, maybe I can get a great entry price because I have the power of execution when it's oversold because people are trying to offload. But when it's overbought, everybody's scrambling for it and they can't get enough of it. You're not going to have that power of execution. You're going to be at the whim of the people who already have the shares.
Have the shares, right? That's the thing. And I was just talking about. I'm not going to allow you to pad your profits with my money, and I want it cheap. So just be a little bit patient and get in at a better price. Yeah.
Patience is also a thing. I've been impatient, not waiting for the perfect entry, but waiting for the perfect exit. Sometimes I've been impatient, and I hold on to something, but I sell off too quickly, and damn it, it shoots the moon, and I missed it because I sold off too early. But in the end, it's all about making profits. If you can make that 1% or 2% a day, in 30 days you have 30%.
I try to tell people, they don't listen. Jay, you better tell them, man. Tell them that buy and hold does work sometimes.
Even if you're down 1%, sure, you can swing trade, right? And you save that day trade. Save the day trade. I mean, by all means, save the day trade. If you don't see a perfect opportunity, you don't have to trade. You know, you can just sit and wait like a sniper. And when that perfect opportunity comes across, you know, get in, snipe it, get out. And you know, swing that trade overnight if you have to for that 1% or 2% gain to make it back. That's just some of the mentality that, you know, people are going to have to experience as they trade. The best way for me to do it was to actually paper trade, and I paper traded for 2 years before I actually started doing this. You know, I mean, 2 years is a little bit extreme for me, for some people, but for me, I felt like it was a perfect amount of time that I needed to practice. Because when you paper trade, you can set your values to realistic values of how much money you have. You know, for me at the time, you know, I only had $1,000, so I only paper traded $1,000. And now I have $10,000, so I paper trade $10,000. You know,
Right.
It makes sense. You gotta be realistic. You can't paper trade $1 million and be like, oh yeah, I'm a big shot because I could paper trade $1 million when you don't have $1 million in your bank account.
Sure. You're right.
So I hope that helps.
So Jay, just in closing, when it comes to this particular stock, he still owns it. What would you do now? You're in at 502 now. You're looking at 478 and probably lower prices moving forward. What do you do now? Do you take your loss and run because now the catalyst has came and gone? What do you do now?
Well, even before going into this, I would have to do my due diligence. So I'm going to do my due diligence really quick for 30 seconds and see what I can dig up, and then I can make a kind of educated guess. So on FinViz, because I love FinViz, I see that yesterday, the day before, it reports a Q2 loss. Let's see what else is here. It has some new executives on the 20th. VP of Global Engineering, VP of Global Supply Chain. I don't know anything about this stock. It's computer-based systems. Okay, so sort of IT-ish. Relative volumes, traded roughly once, 1.3. The entire float one time. Actually, no, not entire float one time. It's only average volume one time. Okay, not too bad. My concern of it right now is the Q2 loss and what their guidance is. So I have to, right now, since it's after hours, I would look at what their guidance, in the future, what their future projections is after this Q2 loss. Do they expect to make some gains back? I also see in a longer-term chart that looks like a channel, a ascending channel. So if the other guy wants to hold for 2 weeks, I could see it come back to $5, no sweat. But the loss of catalysts concerns me. The loss of volume concerns me, right?
Right.
So I would have to be looking at technical patterns now. And it looks like Bollinger Bands are constricting at around 476, 479. Let's see here. MACD. MACD is a little bit iffy. So what I would recommend is this all depends on open. And it depends on volume flow at open. If there is not enough volume flow at open for this to have any sort of volatility, because ATR is about 25 cents, he could probably gain back 10 cents per share and bring it back up to, say, 488, 490, because that's where the upper resistances are for the past days. So he could gain back that loss a little bit, so he could decrease the amount of loss, mitigate his losses, or he can just cut his losses at the spot, and go out with a pure loss, realized loss. Or if he's confident in that the guidance of Q2 and into Q3 is good because it does show performance over month is 5 to 10% over quarter,
Right.
month to quarter. He can double down. If he has the cash in his account, he could double down, and I don't know how much he put in, but let's just say he puts in 200 shares, right? 200 shares is about $900. If he doubles down another $100, he can reduce his 502 from 478. Maybe he hopes, sees it as a lower price. He can reduce his average price and have a higher multiplier because he has more shares now to go back to break even.
Okay.
But it really depends what's his position size is. I don't know what his position size is.
Right. All right. Appreciate it, Jay. Thank you for the breakdown, man.
Of course, anytime.
All right.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you checked out Discord?
Discord? No. What is that?
That's like a group chat, sort of, for people who have voice comms on a mic on their computer.
Okay.
I figured that might be a little bit easier for people calling in.
Okay.
Instead of having one person talk, you have multiple people chime in.
Oh, so it's multiple people can talk at the same time?
Yeah, it's like a group chat. And the owner of the channel would have the ability to mute whoever's talking.
Okay. All right. That's definitely something I would look into. My only thing with that is, my troll issue, but but I think right now, it seems like it's easier for me to kind of control when people call in and you have the floor. I'll let you just go and say what you want to say. So I don't know. I'll look into it, Jay. I can't promise you I'll use it though.
But definitely, TradingView is if you had TradingView streaming capability,
Yeah.
I could be like post a chart, and you could open the chart, and you can look at the chart of what I'm talking about, like where all the lines and the resistances are.
That's what
make more sense.
I'm looking into that, man, because like I said, I'm about to use the 2-week thing. I'm gonna do the 2-week thing tomorrow, where it's like a free trial they're giving away right now. I guess I don't know if it's 2 weeks or one or whatever, but
It's a whole month.
is it a whole month? Oh wow, yeah. So I got a email about it, and so I'm definitely gonna jump on that, see what happens, and see what I can do. Maybe if I can start projecting, uh, actual charts, that would be really nice using TradingView. And if I don't know, can two people work on a chart? Like we can watch somebody work on a chart. Like if you were, I'm here, right? When you can like connect into the chart or no?
Well, you can post it, and you can see what other people's chart are.
Oh, okay. Yes. I did see where you can like download charts. Okay.
You can. It's like a screen cap. Somebody pushes a camera,
Okay.
and then you can see what my chart is looking at.
Okay.
And then you push your camera button, and it snapshots what your chart is, and it posts it into the chat.
All right.
It's actually for a month. I've been a member of this site for half a year now, and I did not do the free trial yet because it's only for a month, and I'm a huge cheapo.
Yeah. Right. No, I understand. So
I'm waiting maybe for August 1st to initiate my free month and then see how it goes.
all right. Appreciate it, man. As always, Jay. Thanks for the call, man.
You got it, Sal. Anytime.
Hey, Jay. I think you had mentioned earlier. Oh crap, he's off. Okay, I think he hung up. He hung up. Let me get the clap for him at least. Maybe he'll call back, but there's the clap. I know you had mentioned a couple Zika stocks. I didn't know if you still wanted to talk about that or not. But Suleiman, yeah. So hopefully, Suleiman, you got some great knowledge from that. I think maybe that kind of was your situation. I don't know if you had used any technical indicators to go into the trade. At 502, I honestly think you were a little bit high on that one. If you want to, Jay, I mean, it's up to you. But yeah, Jay is saying you have the opportunity to hold for a week or two to possibly get that back. So, me personally, I would set a limit order for like 480, 490, and just get the hell up out of there and move on. If you don't get it within the next 2 or 3 days, I would just sell and keep it moving. Just sell and keep it moving. Okay, hold on. We got a couple people calling here. All right, all right. 206 was first. So, Mr. Lloyd, what's up?
Hey, Blue, I beat you to the punch. Hey, you know what, Blue? I'm going to call you Clay Trader Jr., man. All that technical jargon, you killing me, man. I love you to death, man. But, you know, for the average person like myself, I don't know what the hell you are talking about. I mean, I kind of do, but, you know, but it's like, it's crazy. You got to break it down to the people, man. Anyways, I got that term for you, Sal. It's called free riding.
You said free riding?
Yeah, so if you look up free riding trade,
okay,
and I guess you have to have the money. Let me just read how they define it.
Okay.
Regulation T of the Federal Reserve Board requires that the stock purchase in a cash amount must be paid for in full before it is sold.
Okay, so it's like the opposite of a naked short, pretty much. So yeah.
But the thing it is, I mean, if I put $1,100 in, and I got my $200 out of it, I couldn't take it out because they're saying that I was free riding it.
Okay.
And I didn't know what the hell. I said, what the hell? I said, it didn't make sense to me. I mean, have you ever heard of that before?
I mean, I've never been duped for free riding before. I purchase when an investor sells a stock that was purchased with unsettled funds. Okay. I mean, that's something that, wow, okay. Yeah, it's never hit me before, and honestly, I have not heard that term.
Me either, man.
Yeah, I don't think ever. They said free riding can be avoided using a margin account. Are you not trading on a margin account right now?
No, man. I told you, I only got like $5,000. So
okay.
I mean,
okay.
I mean, my goal was to get there. You know, I was going to do my 3 trades a week.
But hold on, you can get a margin account with 5,000. I think E-Trade is like 2,500. I'm sure TD has a margin account.
I thought you had to have a 25.
No, you probably have not asked for a margin account yet. You probably still have a basic cash account.
Yeah, that's all I got is a cash account. I thought for a margin, I thought you had to have the $25,000, so I just been trading with cash.
Right. No, you can apply for a margin account with $3,000. Most brokers $2,500. They'll let you short, or they'll give you margin. You know, then that kind of helps you not have to wait for stocks to settle, especially on buys and stuff like that.
Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, because so as you can see, my EO8T or something like that. You know, it went up that 10 or 15%. It went up from 106 to 120, and so when I went to go put the sale to 120, get my $158, it said you're a free rider. I said what?
Yeah.
So now I got to let the money sit in there. I guess I got to wait a couple of days before I get the money out.
Okay.
So that's the disadvantage I'm at right now. So maybe, just so many stipulations when it comes to trading stocks. It's not about just putting your money in and pulling it out.
Okay.
So let me, Blueberry, I'm going to just give you guys a kind of definition of PDT rule does not apply to Mr. Lloyd. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't got that much money. But let me give you guys an example of what I'm doing, which makes it easy for me. So basically, as you said, Sal, finding stocks that are moving, between 6 to 15% a day. Find those hole in the walls.
Yeah, 6 to 15% or more in a month. I prefer a month than a day. That's kind of hard.
What you mean a day? That is not hard, bro. That is not hard. So that first stock that I gave you, remember that the one I sent you an email about?
Okay.
It went. I came in at 106. I sent you an email. I said I came in at 106. It went up to 120 based on the chart analysis that I looked at. Now you can go back and take a look at that day.
Oh
Now
no,
I
no,
didn't think
I believe you. I mean, for me though, I don't do a good job of picking stocks that are gonna be one day kind of explosive kind of plays.
right.
But I'm pretty good at picking, 10 to 15 to 20% in a month or more. But in a day, I'm not. I'm not. For me, it's difficult. Mm.
Now I was going to send you this one last night, but this is the problem that I had. Basically, I'm what I do every night, guys. I have a notebook. I write down the stock, where I got it from, what not indicator, what scanner I used to get the stock, the volume, just the kind of keep track so you can gauge on if you're heading the right direction with your scanners. So I came up with a stock last night before I went to bed. It's AJBI, so Alpha Juliet Bravo Igloo. If you could just take a look at that real quick.
Yeah, AJBI.
It's some OTC stock I have no idea about. But if you think about all the Tim Sykes videos that you looked at, he doesn't care about the company, and then that's the mindset that I need to get in.
Sure.
He doesn't care if it's good, if it's bad. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you trading like him, sure. I mean, he is pure technical. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, that's why the breakdown when he talked about the financials. If you've seen his video, he doesn't
Right.
even do the video. It's done by Michael Good, who's more of
Yeah, I saw that.
a more of a fundamental guy. So
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So what I learned from him, I mean, I haven't went to his video. I'm studying just charts only right now as far as the candles, but I'm going to get into the sec files as soon as I finish these other videos. So anyways, so I ran into this last night with the scanner, this AJBI. It has this big long red candle here, as you can see that it bottomed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the next day was the 27th. It closed on the what did it close at? It closed at 44 cents. Now I didn't get in on this trade, but the reason why I knew this was going to move up, and this is just, I remember you said you have a hard time finding those trades that move up like this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just something I've learned. When you see this big long red candle and this green candle here, the shorts are covering themselves. And when they're covering themselves, they're buying their shares back. They're not going to keep shorting that with that big long green candle like that.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, it gapped up, and that would have been a 15% gain for you right there. It went up 15%, as you can see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the trade that I would have came in just like the one I showed you on the email. I would have went in at, wow, where did it go down to? I would have went in at 46. I would have went in at 46 cents, and then I would have sold. I kind of would have kept my eye on it, but I probably would have sold probably at half between it, so probably about 55 or between 55 and 57.
Okay.
So that's the type of thing I'd look for. When I see these things bottoming out like that, and then that green candle comes in there like that, that's automatic to me that the shorts need to cover. And they're not going to continue to short that stock, especially with that long candle like that.
Okay.
I mean, as a shorter, you think you would continue to short that stock if it looked like that?
You asked me if they're going to continue to short the stock with that jump up that it made?
No, but let's pretend that you didn't see that jump prior to that day on the 27th. Looking at that candle there, would you go into the next day? This is just a psychological side. Would you go into the next day like, hey, I'm going to short this stock because I think it's going to go down?
Hell no. I mean, I would never short a stock under $1 to begin with, but just because you can get blown out the trade.
Right.
In situations like this, it's very, very dangerous shorting a stock under $1.
Right, exactly.
You can blow your account like that real quick if you don't know what you're doing. So, no, I mean, hell no.
Right. So basically, when I saw that, I said, okay, they need to cover. So I would have put my bid at 45, between 45 and 46 for my entry, and then I would have sold at 55. So I would have put 1,000 in. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that this morning because I got stuck into this other trade about the free riding, so I need to wait till that clears. So the problem is that the share builder account I have is kind of locked up right now, so I have to wait until this INNV explodes, or at least anticipate to explode, before I can move my money over to an account to where I can do this.
Okay.
So hopefully that makes sense to what I'm saying now. But those trades like this, man, they're all over the place. And I think, keeping, I don't know, I mean, you're a smart man, Sal.
Right.
You probably, I mean, keeping a log each day,
Yep.
and seeing, based off the volume, what explodes and what doesn't. This is the type of stuff that I look for. I don't look for the BGIs. I mean, I would like to get in that stuff, but if I see like Clay Trader's name into the what do you call it, the message boards on some of these stocks, I don't even look at it because I know he's coming there with a lot of cash. There was another stock that I looked at last night, EVOK. Did you hear about that yesterday?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that today. Actually, Jay called in earlier and we talked about EVOK. Is that something you're looking to?
Well, no. I put 1,200 in. So basically, I put a limit order yesterday in for like 220. I think it was 220, something like that. It was like 10% above, but because I knew it was going to gap up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I thought about it, man. Why you said something to me? There's thousands of stocks out there. Why go ahead and chase this stock?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for me to chase this. So I went ahead and took my limit order out, because I didn't need it. I was like, you know what? There's plenty of stocks. So this is when I came up with this AJBI stock. So
and they were
it
pretty
didn't
much
do too bad.
Yeah, they were pretty much up, like both up the same. Pretty much, they both had 50% gain. So you could have won either way. So, but
right,
really nice.
And as you can see, you know what? And so with the candles, and with just studying candles along from the things that I'm doing, is I do best when there's no news because it's strictly technical. But when there's news or when there's a possibility like FDA approval, then technicals are out. For example, Jay say he's looking at the Bollinger Bands and everything else. Well, look at the INNV. It was solid red for a whole week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I had my E-Trade account open and my Share Builder account open. I had the order ready to go for a stop loss because I saw that bullish engulfing pattern that was hovering over that green candle and that big red candle the next day. And I really thought, basically when you see a bullish engulfing pattern, that typically that's a sign that it's going to go like straight down the next day.
Wow.
And for it to hold that pattern like that, yeah, man, I mean, I don't know what to say. Typically, I mean, it seems like technicals do work for some charts. And I think when there's no, what I'm saying, if there's, I don't know what to say, but you get what I'm trying to say about the technicals do matter in some plays, but some it really doesn't matter. And I think in this case here, let me look at. So do you have your Bollinger Bands up right now?
On the stock, yeah.
So INNV, if you look at the date of 7/20, well, no, actually it didn't close below the. It didn't close below. Let's look at the 7/27. So it went below. It closed below the Bollinger Band, right?
Okay.
So typically when you
that was Wednesday. Okay.
So typically when you see that stock close that far below the Bollinger Band, I mean, it's usually like a straight drop. You know what I'm saying? The next day.
All right.
For it to open up equally like that, that just amazed me. So that just kind of tells me the technicals didn't really matter. So it matters in some ways, but from what I'm going to focus on right now is really focusing on the OTCs and kind of studying the candles to see if I can use the candles in the smaller stocks as the big stocks.
Okay.
So those are my plays. So basically, guys, if some guy in here say he's new, man, it's you really gotta put your heart into this, man. I mean, you can't just come in here and just I tell you to trade and you put your money into it because it doesn't work that way. You really have to know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
I can give you a trade right now. Here, Apple. AAPL. Go ahead and put your money there. It's a guarantee that you ain't gonna lose all your money in one day.
Right, right. Now, what do you think about this? I know you've been following OTC now, but what do you think about this Dwayne Wade penny stock? Naked Brand Group, NAKD.
NAKD. Let me take a look at KD.
We talked about that earlier in the show. It had a nice little pop today. I guess Dwayne Wade is coming out with a new clothing line with them. Um,
So the problem with this, and yes, I do see that big red green candle there. The problem is there's no volume.
yeah.
So it's only 92,000. So whoever put their money into this today is going to probably be trying to get their profits out of it.
Right.
So where it came at 144, and there's just not a lot of volume moving it. So I mean, they're going to get their money. So I see potentially that this is going to go down the next day, but it has to be more. Has to be more promotion to this. I mean, if I would have seen 500,000, 600,000, or at least 200,000, I would have anticipated a green candle the following day, like the INV. But I mean, people are about to get their money and run because it's just I mean, it's not a very popular brand, you know. I mean, it's nothing. It has to be more volume.
Right.
It's just not just this green candlestick. So I mean, yes, I do see it. It looks good, but as you know, and you've been around the game for a long time, 92,000 is like having 25 cents on the table out of $1.
That's true. That's true. My thing is, I just want to make sure I don't miss out on the next Old Navy or you know what I'm saying. So.
Well, let's think about. I mean, so he got naked. Let's look up FUBU. I mean, is FUBU a stock? I mean, FUBU made it big.
Yeah, I don't know anybody still buying that, but yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is, let me think. What else? The Kardashians. Do they got a stock out there? They should have a stock option, right?
They have. I know the Kardashian game. I want to say their game has a publicly traded company that ran for a little bit while. Maybe somebody in the chat room would know, but other than that, no, I don't think they have a publicly traded company themselves.
You know, I would wait till this thing gets a little bit more volume. I mean, but I think right now with 92,000 and 30,000, I mean, I don't know, man. It's still too high for it to be a penny stock, by the way. So I don't think you miss anything. Just like you said, Sal, you need to stick to your own principle, man. There's thousands and thousands of plays out there. You know, if you're looking for these big plays, you can get those plays like I just told you earlier with that OTC stock, 15% a day. You're doing good, man.
Right.
So I think you should. You got your own game plan, man. But you're a smart man. You come in here to try to see what everybody else is doing, which is a good thing. I like hearing how other people play too, so I can enhance my skills.
For sure.
So will I continue? I'll kind of keep my eye on it, but it has to be more volume in this because you know you're not going to put your money into this because it's not going anywhere. So I know Sal ain't about to put no money up in here.
No, I mean I'm not putting any. I'm going to watch it though because I understand what celebrities can do to stocks sometimes, and you know he may not be what he was 5 or 6 years ago, but you know you got people out there when they hear NBA player, they think, oh, whatever he's doing, I better jump on. Especially when you're talking about the uneducated investors sitting at home thinking that you know everybody eats the cheese of an NBA player. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. If it was Michael Jordan, I said, yeah, let's go for it. But Dwayne Wade, man, I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was LeBron, I think LeBron will have a better brand name than Dwayne Wade. I mean, so I don't see him as being that popular. So I wouldn't see this. I mean, he better have some good-looking clothes. But I don't know, man. I just see this as the FUBU brand that's going to go in and go out, you know, sooner or later. So
I hear you.
So that's my thing, man. I'm gonna keep my eye on these OTCs, and I'm gonna send you what I can, and as I do some homework, and once I prove my method, hopefully we can put me on like a give me an award or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Not a problem, man. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, wait. Before I go, I have an idea.
Okay.
Can you please do some research as far as coming up with? I I think there's an app where there's like a 24-hour chat room or something like that where we can all like come in or something like that after hours. You know, kind of give tickers during the day. Just like you got stock twits, right? You know, sometimes you get those alerts.
Yeah, I mean, I can put a chat room on my site. I mean, if you want to do something like that, I can put a
I'm talking
chat room
about
on.
on the app, man. I mean, I ain't gonna sit on the computer all day. I mean, I need to.
Oh, so you're talking about a chat room on an app? Yeah, I can find something like that if that's what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that will improve the growth as well. I mean, especially if some people that can't make it on here, but they can get into the chat room. But it may spread the word out as well.
Sure.
And I know that's what you're trying to do is have continual growth. So,
Right, of course.
so that's just my suggestion as well. So, anyways, man, yeah. So, what do you think about the free riding?
I think it's messed up, but I mean, I think it seems like you can just simply get around it with getting a margin account or just having to deal with waiting a little bit, you know?
Right. And what is Blueberry saying? Discord. What is Discord, Blueberry?
It's something where multiple people can talk at the same time.
Oh.
I get what Jay's doing, but I like the fact that when somebody calls in, it's centered on that person. That person has the floor. Everybody's listening, and
Right.
sure, you can mute a whole bunch of people, but I like the idea of somebody calling in and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? When we have a
I
whole
think
bunch of
I think you should continue what you do. I mean, it doesn't bother me to call in like this. I mean, it's like a radio station. Radio station got all these damn things coming in, so you got to have one person at a time because one person's going to overtalk the other one, and next thing you know, you got an argument on. You got to get everybody off the line.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, if you can find some type of chat room where you can host it, just like here. I definitely would kind of, maybe I want to talk all night to some of the guys, that may be working overtime, or you decide to wake up at 2 a.m. to see what kind of tickets people are talking about.
Sure.
Just a continuation of what's going on here, just in case some days you may not make it to the show, but it's also a way to communicate with the people as well.
I like the idea.
Yeah, so cool, man. I love working with you, man, and hey, everybody have a good week. Let's keep our eye on this ABJI. I think it may go up for one more day. Let me look at the volume real quick, and I can give you my analysis on it. So what's it? AJPI. So how much volume did it have today?
You said AJPI?
AJBI. So Alpha,
Oh, okay,
Juliet,
yeah,
Bravo,
okay, yeah,
Igloo.
okay, the one from earlier. Okay, yeah.
So as you can see, it had 2 million in that big fall. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 673 in volume for today, and then it was 673 today. So we only hit 1 million. So and with that gap up right there, that means it's a continuation pattern. So because there's no news whatsoever to move this stock, the probability is that when it's a gap up like that, it's going to continue. And just to show you, if you go back to 621.16,
Mm-hmm.
you see that candle there, even though it's red, and do you see the 620?
Okay.
So 621 gapped up. Do you see that?
621. Okay.
It gapped up, and then there was a continuation. You see how it gapped up, and there was a continuation?
Let's see here. All right. Yeah, I do notice that they were kind of low volume, but yeah, you're right. I mean, they did move up.
So the volume was 89,000. Then it gapped up, and there's 501,000.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's 600,000. Then the following day is 400,000. So as you can see, the volume is increasing, which when there's a gap, everybody knows that that's a continuation. Mm-hmm. So this gap tomorrow, with this volume here, it's a continuation. Now, I don't know what the percent's going to be, but from what I've been learning, when I see these gaps, it's a continuation of this pattern. But if it's a low volume, it's not going to push it. But as you know, you've been in this game for a while. With high volume, it moves stocks.
Sure.
So you may get your 5% gain or 10% gain. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna put into this tomorrow just to see if this method is correct.
Right. I do like the idea. I mean, I'm looking into the company. I do see he's got a very strong social media following, and you know, his name is actually pretty um, to the people in the tattoo world. But I understand. I know that it's all about the technicals and stuff like that. But I
Right.
do see that it's definitely driving people to the stock. So
Right.
nice.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, I just wanted to share my knowledge of what I've gained so far. I mean, hopefully, I know what you're trying to build here, and hopefully, I can be the mechanic, and Jay can be the transmission tech, and as you can build your team, just like you got Clay Trader and those other guys, where they have a team of people that work on certain things. You may be a technical guy, and just we can all collaborate and
Mm-hmm.
share our knowledge, and hopefully, we can get into these stocks and really. Um, be able to progress our income. So,
Yes.
anyways, that's my dream, man, and I know it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Got a couple knuckleheads in here, but we'll all work it out.
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry. As long as we continue to be diligent and about our work, I mean, in due time, my friend. So as long as, again, it's got
Okay.
to be diligent and believe in what we're doing. There's no doubt about
All
it,
right.
man.
All right. Well, keep this on your list tomorrow, man. Let's check it out and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I already got it down, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for
All
the
right, man.
call.
Have a good day.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Lloyd for that, and Mr. Lloyd and Jay for both of the calls. Really, really great job. Really, really great job. Um, yes, David. David, yes. I'm basically in FSS 1313, and I'm just looking to get back up to 14. So it's a very stable ride up. It's a very stable company. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't really do the job for earnings, and it dipped, and now I bought the dip, and I'm just going to ride it back up. But I've looked at the chart several times. They pay great dividends, got a lot of cash on hand. Recent acquisition that's adding about 30 to 45 million dollars to the revenue. They've got plans to increase revenue almost fivefold by 2021. It's not going to be that long of a talk. I'm not holding it that long, of course. It's just it's basically a stock that dropped and has a tendency to run back up to recover its gains quickly. And I believe over the next month that these gains that it gave away today, although not significant, but safe for the kind of money that I'm putting into the stock. So, and I need something that's going to be safe and give me a reliable gain. And I'm looking at FSS, and it's a nice reliable gain over the next month. I still like FAC. FAC is one of the things I wrote about on my website. FAC is, again, I talked about that with Blueberry. An insurance company that writes that writes coverage for people with bad credit. So cash on hand, nice. They just got a little bit of debt issues, but their margins are incredible because they can force people, because they have bad credit, to pay significantly higher than many of the mainstream insurance companies. So I like FAC there a lot. Okay. BEBE, BB Stores. I've heard of BB Stores. I don't know too much about them. Up 20%. Looks like they're struggling. So this might be a situation where you're dealing with debt here too. Um, I know they've got a ton of locations, right? So this might be a situation if you want to jump in and hold. Let's see if it is actually going to maintain those gains that it had today. I would be still trying to get in at a discount. If it doesn't look like it's going to fade out, then try and see, maybe ride the wave up. And I'm just looking based on the chart. But obviously pre the run up, that was probably the time to get in. So something's going on here. Figure out what it is and see if that momentum is going to carry on. So yeah, we'll look into that. We'll look into that Discord stuff. Patrick, PTX, we talked about that earlier today. I don't know about PTX anymore. I mean, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Is this a turnaround? How long is this turnaround going to take? PTX got to come up with earnings. We'll see where they're at as a company. I don't think anybody's expecting anything great out of PTX with earnings. If anything, it's going to be very dangerous if you're already in the stock. Nobody's expecting anything great out of PTX for earnings. Let me see here. Look, we got one more call here. 702, what's up? 702?
Hey, Sal J.
Hey, what's going on, Jay?
Hey, I wanted to clear a misconception. I'm hoping Mr. Lloyd is still with us. And it's about his free riding issue and his cash account.
Okay.
So the difference between his cash account and his margin account is that with his cash account, he does not have to abide by the PDT rule, actually. With the margin account, you do have to abide by the PDT rule. And a little bit to elaborate is because the cash account, you can day trade however much you want as long as you have the funds able to cover your trades. So if he buys on the first day, as long as he has his funds to cover through the third day, he would have no issues day trading. But his trade doesn't settle until the third day. But if he were to go all in on his one single trade, then that's where he might have an issue day trading, because he would be selling or like trying to purchase the security before actually paying for it. You know what I mean? Or paying for the purchase of the security before selling it. So when he has a margin account, the PDT rule protects people protects the brokerage from people who wants just to YOLO their whole account like that. You know what I mean? So for the uneducated or unreviewed investor, they could just go to brokerage and run up a huge margin and not be able to pay it back. And that's, the limit to speculation is to protect the brokerages. Is the PTT rule. But since the trading for a cash account, as long as he has some cash reserves, he can trade, day trade indefinitely as long as he has something, reserved left. I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Does that clarify a little bit?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, he's giving and losing some things. So yeah, I got you.
Like he has to purchase the actual security before selling it. When his trade execute, he gets his shares immediately, but the funds has to go through a settlement, so it gets to the other investor.
Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then same thing coming back. So when he sells it and somebody else pays him, it has to go through another settlement for 3 days before he gets the money back.
Right.
But as long as he has something in reserve, he can do this stagnated, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, as long as he divides it up, his whole cash balance into 3. If you were to go all in, then that's where, if you break the 3-day rule, then you're free riding.
Right.
You don't actually have this. You don't actually purchase the security. You just have the security, and you're trying to sell it without actually paying for it.
That's true. Wow.
So that's what I'm trying to clear up. Do we still have time to talk a little bit about Zika?
Yeah, go ahead and talk and just finish up the show. Go ahead. I'll close it up after it.
CERS is a Zika play, and the other one is INO. CERS is a biotech. It's trading really nicely according to the chart. It's multi-topping around $6.75. Today was a breakout day for CERS. It gained 27 cents and it closed around $6.97. It's actually a $7 million company. The analyst has this targeted at $9. So if someone looking for the swing trade CERS would be a very good one for the next few weeks, given that the Zika virus is starting to gain some more momentum or more speed
Mm-hmm.
in the news. It performed 7% over a week, 16% over the month. So far, the news I've heard so far is in Florida, 4 people were, I think, diagnosed with Zika, and they had to halt the donation of blood drives in Florida. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
Wow.
Because of the scare of Zika.
No, I was not aware of that.
And as far as selling high, buying high and selling higher, it's all part of momentum trading. I didn't get a chance to touch on that, but as for a day trader, the most potent thing for a day trader to make money is to see volatility and trade with the momentum, trade with the flow of the trend. So if volume comes in, you want to trade with the volume and ride it up higher. And if volume leaves, you want to short it and trade it lower. Is essentially one strategy. Another strategy is to swing it overnight or over a long term. It's all part of how somebody finds their niche and what they feel comfortable risk-wise and how they adopt their strategy. All right, that's about it.
Did you want to say anything quick about INO or?
INO is still brewing. It's nothing technical yet, but it's just another Zika company that should be on everybody's watch list. See if they come out with something, some kind of new, drug or dose. The latest news is that they have their first subject in clinical trials, but nothing significant.
Okay. Appreciate it, Jay. Thank you always for the tips, man.
You got it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for all the callers. You guys to know tomorrow, another show, another great show tomorrow we're putting on. As you know, tomorrow we'll talk about anything that comes up. But as traders, we always end up getting back to stocks. So, but tomorrow is whatever. I know Hillary did her speech today. I'm going to watch the replay right after the show. See how that went because I want to see it for myself. But otherwise, guys, another great show. I hope you guys learned something today. See you guys back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Happy trading, everybody. Have a good night.